Yeah, turn that up a little bit for us. Oh, there we go. Master Numb Podcast. We are live. And we got a special guest in the house today. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to get rid of these announcements before we announce our special guest that we have. So you know it's me in the house. You know we got Berto over there. You know you got Twizzy on the boards.
Yeah.
So we appreciate when everybody checks out the video podcast. If you could check out the live, we appreciate that more than anything. Engage in a live. That's our favorite part, is interacting with the chat. You can watch the video version on YouTube. You can watch us also live simultaneously on Twitch. You can watch any of our previous podcast episodes on our YouTube archive. We're also going to be uploading every video going forward on Rumble. It's not going to be live, but it'll be in the archive. And if you prefer the audio version, or if you're at work, you're driving, you want to listen in the background, you can check our podcast on any audio version, on any audio podcast platform that you prefer. You could do Spotify, you got Google Play Store, Apple Podcasts, any of those, including
Stitcher for you weirdos.
That's right, Stitcher. And if there is any podcast platform that you prefer that you don't find our podcasts on, Berto, what they got, man?
Come to Discord and harass us until we put it on there.
That's it. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to introduce our guest. We got somebody that's done quite a few things. He wears quite a few hats. He's got 2 podcasts currently. You know, he's also kind of crushing the game in the commercial real estate space. And he comes from radio as a savage. So we got Mr. Corporate Mike, or Hip Hop Mike, however you know him. He's in the house with us live today.
Hey. Dímelo. Let's go.
That's it.
My first podcast at a domino table. I'm loving the vibes down here.
You already know.
I'm loving them.
Yeah.
See, there's people that have sat here that don't even recognize this as a domino table.
Put your dominoes right here.
See, that's my man. See, people come here thinking it's a Scrabble table and all kinds of ridiculousness. You know what I'm saying? You see?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, before we put this up, there was like at least 15 scraps over games on this table.
Yo, legit.
It. There's definitely a lot of energy coming off this table.
Mm-hmm.
See, man, we're going to get a Ouija board on here next. See what I'm saying? We're really going to make shit move in here, you know?
I feel like an old man died at this table.
Oh, probably.
Well, that's how we got the legs.
Probably.
Legs were on there before that guy died.
I love it.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
But
This
we
is the-
definitely... Go ahead.
No, one thing I want to say is this is the one thing that will follow us from like every set we ever do.
Yeah.
Like this table will forever exist. it from the first episode until whatever the last episode is. This table will exist somehow, some way. Whether we hang it on the wall or sit in front of it, I feel like it's like iconic for us. Not really in reference towards just the table itself.
Facts.
I think it's funny that my Puerto Rican ass sat on the Puerto Rican side and you sat on the Dominican side without ever even planning that.
No.
I found it to be hilarious. I was like,
Yeah,
that shit
and we
is
didn't
funny.
get it for this.
And plus, you also got a good side, too. You have Puerto Rican, which is cool.
Puerto Ricans are like Yankee fans,
What's wrong with this Dominican side?
I'll tell you right
There's
now.
nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's not the Puerto Rican side.
Puerto
It's not the
Ricans,
Puerto Rican side. you know
Puerto
what I'm
Ricans are like Yankee fans in the sense that Yankee fans don't care if the Yankees are winning as long as the Mets are losing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like if the
Straight
Mets are
up.
losing, the Yankee fans are still happy. Like they'll call you.
my gosh.
They could not even be playing anymore. They could all be in Miami popping bottles, and Yankee fans will call you. I'm like, your season's over.
Yeah,
Not
nah.
that this happens often, but like your season's over. Why are you calling me to tell me the Mets? Hey, what happened last night, bro? What happened? And it's just like, but they're like Giant fans.
Yeah, I can't lie, man.
I know how it goes. My ex is Puerto Rican. She loved to watch me lose. She was always like, "You the worst. You terrible. You should be. You so white. You know how many times she's like, you so white. I'm like,
You're like, well, it's going to be that way the whole time.
I
So I
said,
really
sorry,
know.
babe.
Yo, but
crazy.
we definitely do appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah,
For
nah,
real,
I
man.
appreciate y'all, man.
You
This
know.
is awesome.
Yeah,
And we
carving
do.
out time in your calendar, man, that means a lot to us, especially
Yeah,
for a
for
guy
sure.
that wears as many hats as you do.
Oh yeah, nah, I appreciate it. I have so much more time in my calendar now. I feel like I switched over from like the chaotic life, driving back and forth to the city. Like now I just do a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I smoke, I Mac, I wake up, 9 to 5 again.
That's
it.
what's up, man.
It's
Very predictable.
It's
Yeah.
funny that you're saying how much you enjoy that, but I feel like most industries, or well, like when you look at like the independent industry, whether it's like hip hop or like music, movies, like they kind of frown upon the 9 to 5.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it depends where you're at. You know, like there's definitely people in radio that are doing like 9 to 5s. Like if you do radio, you're either working like 6 to 10, 10 to 3, 3 to 7, or 7 to 12. You're in like one of those slots. So you have your set hours.
Yeah.
Outside of that, you know, you're doing like clubs and all this stuff. So that's kind of where it gets crazy. But I feel like people value like some sort of a schedule and like a momentum to their life. I don't know.
I don't mind working 9 to 5. I would love for this to pop and me not have to do that anymore and do this 9 to 5. But I don't mind my 9 to 5.
Yeah, no, I think there's peace about it. Like my dad was always, he just loved his 9 to 5. Always.
Yeah.
He was like, that's just what it is. I mean, this generation is weird. We're like, I don't want to work. I want to own my business. You know, like,
I'm for it. Like, I've worked at Sleepy's. Before radio, I was working like 9 to 9. Like, I was doing crazy hours.
Yeah.
And I think, like, from doing all the chaotic music stuff, from cutting hair, doing all these different jobs, like, I burnt out. And then I really appreciated, like, the predictable 9 to 5 schedule. Like, there's kids that work in my office that are like 20 years old, 22 years old, like young kids, and they can't wrap their head around the 9 to 5. But I feel like they're going to go, like, explore all these options and then be like, damn, I could have just made a lot of money and just worked 9 to 5.
That's a fact.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then you have so much freedom to do all the other things that bring you joy. Because I feel like you say you would do the podcast 9 to 5, but you would be like, oh, every day I got to do this podcast 9 to 5. Like, there's something about doing it without having to do it, but like choosing to do it that makes it so much more fun.
That's what I tell people about majoring in like things that they're very passionate about and they really want to, this is what I want to do, bro. I fucking love medicine. I want to be a doctor, or I love technology. I majored in technology. I always loved technology. Now I work in technology and I don't want anything to do with it because they force me to do it every day. And I'm kind of like, I wanted to do this for myself.
Yeah, and you don't think about like all the things that go with the job. Like, so many people think about just like the ABCs of the job. They don't get to like the XYZs, you know? Like, my job, like, I get there, I'm 9 to 5, whatever, like I have my momentum, but I don't like love being on the phone or like making calls. Like, I don't always love like having to be like dealing with somebody that's difficult. But, you know, if you really find some peace and joy in like the way you structure your life, you could kind of like stumble over those things and be cool with it. Keep the passions like to a place where they're not tainted by things like that. Like, for you guys to do the podcast, the fact that you could do it and put it together as like a team, if you had to wake up every day and like show up at somebody else's podcast, you'd be like, damn, this 9 to 5 sucks.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. Well,
It becomes a job, you know?
our 9 to 5 is the reason why we can do this, which I feel like
which
is
is
like
true.
another thing. It's like, you know, like if you've made some money already, you can kind of transition into like doing whatever your passion project is and just fund that passion project with your 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny because we used to work with a guy that he used to do these like murals and stuff, and like for our job, which is, you know, our job had nothing to do with murals, but that's what he would do for like promo for them. He would paint the most fire stuff that I've ever seen. Like, I remember there was like this baseball themed barbecue. And he painted this guy and made like a strike zone. It's
crazy.
You know, where like they had people that attended the party could try to throw strikes through this wooden thing. And it was literally a baseball player like this and like a catcher with the hole where his catcher's mitt was. I was like, yo, this is so fire. I'm like, why don't you sell these? And you know what he told me? He said, once I start making money doing this, it won't be fun anymore.
That's a fact.
Shout out to Hot 97, man.
I was like,
Nah, I'll be honest, like, that was a lot of fun, but I only made like $400 a week. So like, as far as doing things from a place of passion, like people ask me, oh, where's all the video from Hot 97? Because everything I did was audio. I could afford a little Zoom recorder. I couldn't afford like all this equipment that's in here. Like, you guys don't realize this is expensive equipment. Like, and I wasn't making money where I could go drop like 10 grand to do things the way that I felt like it was going to be the best content. You know, like, I always needed a space that I felt people could come through, they could smoke, they could like really get comfortable and have the best content. When you're doing that under the structure of like, you have to work out a budget, you have to schedule people through a company, it really takes away from like the organic nature of the interaction. It becomes like, all right, well, how much time do I have before we have to hit this commercial? Let me cut this up. Like, you're always thinking in terms of like editing and like just promotion. And like, I love the fact that when you have the money, whether it's from the 9 to 5 or anything else, that you could put it towards doing things your way, and it always gives you such a better return.
yeah, it's funny because I actually intended to touch on that. I wanted to ask you what are the differences between, you know, the whole radio structure and the whole corporate structure versus doing your own podcast, because you do have a couple of podcasts. So, and you're independent, right?
Yeah, I do everything like music industry wise, everything's solo dolo now.
Yeah.
I don't have like any companies I deal with. I don't answer to anybody. And like, I find that I'm getting more joy out of it now.
Yeah.
Like, when I was doing radio, I started to really be like out of touch with music. I wasn't enjoying it as much. Like, I didn't feel like it moved me the same way. Because everything that you're thinking about is like, you'd hear an artist and you'd be like, oh, I know like who works with that artist and what team, and I got to hit this person to schedule. And it like takes away from just enjoying like the content.
Yeah.
And you know, when the artist is
Yeah.
creating, they're not thinking about like all the politics behind their ish. They're just making great music. So it's like me thinking about the politics really was just taken away from the music.
Yeah.
Makes
Can
it
I
less-
interject real quick?
It's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
of course,
course.
man.
You
Come
kidding
on,
me?
Twiz.
Let me say something.
Crazy.
Go ahead, Twiz.
Jump in here,
So
bro.
would you
Twiz.
say just
Ba, 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 ba.
because being I know you a little something. Would you say that circumstance is kind of what made you push or kind of made you gravitate towards newer artists? Because one thing I know for certain and for sure is that you definitely push a lot of new artists, and I even got put onto some artists I never even heard before because of you. Whether you interviewed them, played their music, posted them, or anything like that, I got exposed to a couple of different new artists from all around the world, like Annoyed, Jada Youngin. You know what I'm saying? Guys like that I would have never known had you have not posted them. So would you say that, you know, doing that job, wearing that hat is kind of what, and after getting burnt out of the same old is what kind of made you gravitate towards those new artists?
I mean, I'd say a little bit. I felt like the new artist thing kind of came up like it came up organically. Like I didn't really have an agenda with it, but I very quickly realized the power in it.
Yeah.
So like I was working with Live Like Davis. I don't know if y'all familiar. Live Like Davis is a dope artist. And he was super into all that music, like all the new stuff. Before that, you know, I was really just around people like Rosenberg, like Flex, like Ebro, that were very much into like the bars. And I had a bad attitude towards new artists. I'm like, oh, it's mumble rap, all this. Chuck Chill, I would walk around the studio, call it space music. I'd be like, we don't listen to space music. And then I started hanging out with Davis, and I understood like it's not about what they saying or how they say it. It's not as lyrical. It's not as like thought provoking. But it provokes a different type of vibe. Like if I listen to, I don't know, like if I was listening to like XXX or Young Thug or like artists that are kind of from that wave when I was like the newer generation guy, I feel like, you know, even though they said certain stuff, you could feel the passion in the music, even if you didn't understand half of the things that they were saying.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to appreciate it. Like, you know, we all talk about how our parents listen like crazy-ish, but like, they, you know, and then they didn't appreciate our stuff. Like at some point, somebody has to appreciate the youth for what it is. And at that time, I really did. And my biggest fear with it was that, you know, a lot of people that I worked around that were much older, I watched them lose the passion for the music because to stay relevant, you have to tap in with the youth, you know?
Facts.
And
Kanye always said, listen to the kids.
yeah, you gotta. And it's like, and if the kids ain't for you, nobody's saying you have to hang out with the kids. You know, it's like if I'm around like my younger cousins, whatever, and they want to go out and get drunk all night, like
Yeah.
I'll stay smoking hookah till like 2 a.m., but then I'm out. And then there was someone like 7, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poof, they get egg sandwiches on the way home.
the bagel store get lit.
Right?
So like for me, I saw a lot of older guys that were sitting with artists strictly to get the clicks, but the content was garbage and they weren't passionate at all about it. And then like I'd see them behind the scenes be so excited and passionate about like this stuff from their generation. But like nobody's getting those stories. Everybody's just getting these generic interviews or these generic freestyles that like I felt like they don't resonate with people beyond like, all right, well, it's clickbait. So for me, I really started interviewing people because I was interested. And then over time, I don't know, I tried to talk to more people on like the industry side. Like I got a little bit more into the business. Then I got into like the comics, like a lot of comedians and influencers. But it's really for me just been about talking to anybody and everybody. But when you work in radio, you know, not all these people are getting clicks.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to have like, you know, at the time, like I'll give you an example. I had like Jack Harlow come up. Like nobody knew who Jack Harlow was. He didn't have a big record. He wasn't click worthy as like an artist. We did a great interview. We had an awesome conversation about growing up in Louisville, you know, working with Bryson early on, meeting drama, like a full great conversation. And it's like nobody gets to hear any of it. And then like a few years go by, he makes a big record, and then a big DJ has him, and then it's just like, well, what's it like hanging out with Drake? And then, you know, and it's like you get the clickbaits,
Yeah,
and it goes out, and those get millions of views. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like people don't get to really take anything from that. Like what made me love music was watching DJs who love the artist talk to the artist. When Angie
facts.
was interviewing artists, she loved those people. She wasn't interviewing people she wasn't interested in.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's big, man.
100%. You look at this. If you look at No Jumper as a platform, it's kind of how they came up, right? They came like Adam came up. Well, he was big even before them, but one of the things that propelled him into the mainstream was interviewing SoundCloud rappers that didn't have this huge mainstream audience, but were great artists that just haven't, just like you said, just like Jack Harlow, right?
And it works for him because Adam loves these kids. Like,
Yeah.
Adam could be 50 years old and be a huge fan of, like, whoever the Lil new. Like, I'm sure Adam is bumping Yeet, like, all day.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Bumping him. He's got that ski mask on in the house too.
Yeah, right. Straight up. So it's like, that's what makes it great, is that, like, you have two people who are really, like, excited to be in the same presence of each other, sharing good information.
Yeah.
It's not as great when you're in a situation where you're like, all right, well, all of this great information has to go to the side for the things that we could tag a certain way. And
The things that move the needles.
yeah, and that's even if it gets out, because then there's other times where it's like these kids will get a lot of views with just whatever, even if you dumb it down and just their name gets the clicks. And then bigger people are like, all right, well, I want those clicks, so don't talk to him about any of that other stuff. Like, talk to me about X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I feel like that. It makes me think of producers, like because I make beats too. So like it's you always want to get the beat to the artist that's on. But then if you think about every producer, they all got on giving beats to local artists and stuff. You look at Timbaland, he had everybody like Genuine, Missy Elliott before they were huge. So he was giving all of them beats, Magoo, and then all of them popped. You know what I'm saying? And then same thing as like Swiss is like making all these beats for these dudes in Yonkers that nobody really knows like that. Yeah. And then the whole squad blows. It's like that's what you need to do. So that's crazy that, you had like Jack Harlow before, before all that stuff. Like,
bro, a lot of people. I know I'm just jumping in.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people.
Nah, I hear you.
bro.
Can you give us a few?
I mean, you name it, man. I like so many people. I had like Rich the Kid first, YBN Namir, like all the YBN, Corday, Jay, Juice World, The Baby. A lot of people. Like, if you go back in my Instagram, I talked to a lot of people. But again, it was like there wasn't anybody crazy at the time. Like, most people that I interviewed, I didn't even know really too much about them until like somebody hit me up and was like, yo, you should check them out. They're going to be in New York. You want them on the show? And then like within 2-3 days, I would just binge everything and decide like, all right, yeah, tell them to pull up or no.
Yeah.
And then there was times where it's like, I told people no that I probably should have like said yes to. Like, I was sleeping on, I slept on Mayor Capella. I slept on, what's his name? Ransom.
Okay.
What's homie's name that made that song? Ransom.
Lil Tecca?
Lil Tecca. I slept on Lil Tecca.
Yeah.
There was a couple artists that I missed because it's like I listened, I was like, it's cool, but it wasn't for me. And like 6ix9ine, I was like, I didn't even want to talk with him. And like it was just more because of like all the chaos. Like he was gonna come with like all these gang dudes.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to talk openly about a lot of stuff. So I was like, but there's opportunities where I could have talked to people and got a lot of views and I just missed it or I just didn't feel it. And I don't know. I'm happy with everybody I ended up connecting with because it always was organic. Like that was my biggest thing.
Facts.
Yeah. That's
And also,
man.
hindsight's 2020, right? Like you can look back and say that, but at the
of course.
time, it's like I don't know what's gonna happen.
Of course. My homie told me that like such and such stock was gonna split. Shit.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just feel like if you work from a place of passion, like we all are fans of music because it like touches us in like a different way than anything else. I mean, certain people, they have that with like you talked about going to be a doctor or like, everybody has their thing. For me, I loved music because I really loved the way that it moved me and the collaborations between like my energy and the artist's energy, like through the songs. So when I'm in radio and I'm just losing all of that, you really lose the joy. And it's like some people have fun just being around the famous person. Like I didn't really care so much about being around the famous person because they're not talking to me. Like the person that's talking to me is this kid that's like gonna be probably famous whenever, but
Yeah.
that brings so much more joy, and I just couldn't do it with radio. Like after a while, it was like a mess.
What are some of the good practices though that came from working in like a corporate environment? Because I'm sure like the structure that they have kind of made you do things a certain way that may also transition to working independently, and they're just good at keeping you like doing this thing.
I'll be honest, it's a mess over there. Like not to ish on anybody, but like what I love about doing like commercial real estate in that corporate environment is like everybody has a role. Like the broker wants to be the broker, the research people want to do research. Like everybody does what they do, and everyone's agenda is like, let's make this company money. when it comes to radio, a lot of the people that are managing, they want to be on the radio too. So it's like you're competing with people who are supposed to be like having your best interest.
Yeah.
You know, and that was really challenging for me because I felt like I came in with no interest in doing radio, like really zero. Like I came in, just stumbled into it, loved being an assistant, didn't really care at all about being in front of the scenes, but like also worked at this company that has this structure and like you want to get to the top of the structure. And like at any company, like when I worked in pizza, like I wanted to be the best pizza guy. Like,
Yeah.
So I'm working in radio and I would have been fine with being management, but like nobody wanted to be management. Everybody wanted to be on the radio. So I started kind of following the footsteps of like those people because I worked at first in the office and they're like, oh, well, you should try and get in production. All right, try to get in production. Then it's like, you're going to operate the boards. By the time I actually ended up like doing stuff, it was more just because like I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't know if I'm gonna get a job in advertising or more. Like it's such a chaotic, messy environment, and everybody wants to be on air. That it's like if you don't want to be on air, like you might as well not even go there.
Yeah.
And that hit me hard. Like,
That is crazy though. Like you're in like a
Like a Shark Tank.
yes
At
thank
all
you.
times.
I was looking for that's exactly what it is.
Because it sounds like that's just the disease that plagues music. Because it's the same thing with rap, right, Twiz?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be the rapper. Nobody wants to manage.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to pick up a camera. Nobody wants to engineer. Everybody wants to. Now people want to make beats.
Yeah.
But before, it's everybody wants to rap.
That's because of the exposure that everybody gets now. You could actually see the producer. You actually know who people are now. They get that, everybody wants to. I'm telling you right now, I'm not musically inclined at all, but I would love nothing more to hit that. What is it, the MPC? That AR?
Yeah, that
Oh,
MPC.
yeah.
Yeah, I would love to.
I wish I could do that.
I wish I could do that shit. You know what I'm saying? But
That A-Rap music.
I'm sure I've heard that before and had no idea what it was. But now I see him do it, and he's going crazy. He's got that extra small shirt on. He's just going hard on that shit. And I'm just like, yo, I want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a weird structure. So now you've completely escaped that pretty much.
I mean, pretty much. I'm like, I dabble in stuff. Like, I have a deal with Snapchat. We're doing like 20 episodes of Mic Check. So, shout out to the guy In Artists. Like, they put
Nice.
me on. I do some stuff with them. The podcast, I just love having the conversations. So, like, I kept doing that. I feel like a lot of people like watching the content. So, it's cool to just be able to do something on my own terms, put it out there.
Yep.
And then Analyze This is really like I do like a lyric breakdown show. And that's just for fun. Like this kid that I work with is like the whitest kid I know. And I just play like rap music and we break down the lyrics.
I love that.
I
shit,
love
to be
Analyze
honest.
This. Yo,
I
I
thought it
think
was
that shit-
funny as hell.
I think
Thanks,
that
man.
shit is so hard, bro.
I thought it was funny.
I actually have like a rundown of like things I want to know about it.
Oh, bet.
Like,
Yeah, for sure.
So we were talking about it a little bit before, and we try not to have too many conversations about what we're going to talk about because we don't want to use up all our good
I
stuff.
got you. It's got to be natural.
But yeah, but where we
Yeah.
ended is I probably I seen most of the episodes, and it's a lot of hip hop and rap. What's your opinion on branching out through other genres? Because I'm assuming that videos do well when I'm assuming that it being like you guys having such a hip hop foundation that it probably makes it a little bit easier to because you actually enjoy it, right? But do you in your personal life, do you listen to other genres of music, and is that something that you're exploring for the show?
Yeah, no, so believe it or not, I love that you asked me that because people don't realize like I really don't listen to any hip hop. Like,
Oh no!
well, so I'll be so honest. So I grew up, I really loved hip hop, and like throughout the Hot 97 stuff, I would be so flooded with hip hop that like for maybe the 2-3 years, like towards the end of that, into like very recently, like I fell out of love with hip hop. I really did. Like I was just so turned off to all of it. I started listening to all this other random stuff. Like I was dating this girl that she was like in the industry and she worked in like more pop and stuff. So she would put me on to like stuff that was new, but like not hip hop.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like I outgrew a lot of it, but I'm kind of slowly like starting to get back into it. Like my vibe went very, like I made a conscious decision. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get out of this music industry. I'm going to just be this corporate guy. I'm going to go settle down, like wife, kid life, and just go into that world on KTU type vibe, you know? And it was great. Like I vibed out for a little bit, but I still love hip hop. But I mean, to answer the question, like I prefer a lot of different stuff now. Even if it's like very closely affiliated with hip hop, like I still prefer like the left field, different music.
Okay.
All right. Is it contemporary or are you going like back? Like, because
I
I know
don't
I
even
got
know.
some. I know I got some playlists. So, you know, my Incubus playlist,
Yeah.
it slaps.
I'll tell
You know what
you.
I'm saying? Like for real.
Let
You
me
know.
see. Hold up. I mean, my playlists are like out of control, but I was listening to like Tame Impala. I listen to Thundercat. I listen to Kygo. I mean, you can see, bro. It's
Yeah.
all so random. Like,
Yeah, man. You got the little tropical house going on in there.
there's a lot of like random stuff in here.
That's what's up. But I think, honestly, I think that sparks creativity. Like, no matter what I'm working on, it doesn't matter what kind of project I'm working on. If I see a good movie, it inspires me. Even if I'm trying to make beats. If I'm trying to, you know, work on photography or something, you know, listening to good music will inspire me, you know?
Word.
You know, so I think it takes a lot of, it's just like maturity, honestly. I feel
Yeah.
like.
I
you
mean,
know?
and it's a big deal. Like, honestly, the maturity thing I feel like is the biggest deal for me because I really never wanted to force music. Like,
Yeah.
I got to a point where I was and it didn't feel good and it was driving me crazy. And like, to find stuff that just moves you that you're not even familiar with the politics of it is like great for me, like
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
Can we talk about a little bit of can you give us like a timeline? Because I know that there's space in between radio and what you're currently doing.
Yeah,
I know.
for sure.
You know, obviously, me and Justin been trying to do our due diligence, so we've been like doing the deep dive on the internet on you. And I know you mentioned pizza stuff.
Yeah.
But you didn't mention anything about the cookies, but I definitely want to talk about the cookies. Can you kind of give us like a timeline of like, you know, how you transitioned from, you know, getting out of music, making that conscious decision, and then going into, you know, starting a cookie company?
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. Like, honestly, I left Hot. It was like October 31st. It was like Halloween Day, 2019. And it was like still a little bit of time before the pandemic. So like pretty quickly I was like, all right, well, where am I going to go? Like, and I went to Power 105. I like met some people there. I went to Station Head. And like, honestly, I took the job at Station Head because they came with a bag. They were like, we'll give you a bag. You do whatever you want. We'll build a studio. I said, perfect. I was like, I'm done with
I'm in.
radio. I'm in.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's what's up.
So they started paying me really well. I started doing like content, and then like March came and the pandemic hit, and they were in like a WeWork. So like the WeWork shut down. Then they like kind of moved like all over. It just became a mess, and I was like out of work. I had no gig, and my backup plan was always to do pizza. So I actually like I'm really good friends with Pizza Pusher, and he's like my hero because Pizza Pusher is like. You're making pizza, you're making money, but you're also smoking weed, and
Yeah.
you're like part of the music industry, but like not like this guy got everything going on that I want going on.
Yeah, he's walking that tightrope and he's
Bro,
like, oh,
is
pizza,
he
oh,
killing it?
music.
I remember when I first seen it years ago. I got a DM to them years ago trying to order something. I'm like, they're like Long Island. No, it's gonna be more. But it is. It's like he was like walking that line, but you would see him with celebrities and they'd be eating his pizza and stuff. His marketing was crazy because I remember
Yeah.
I was like on the Instagram, like look, I'm like, damn, this shit looks amazing.
Pizza Pusher is an icon and a gentleman.
Yeah.
And he definitely blessed me because when the pandemic hit, he was busier than ever. He's like, yo, I need a pizza guy. I was like, bet, I'll make pizza. So like for the first maybe like 4 or 5 months of the pandemic, I was just making pizza, like weed pizza for Pizza Pusher.
What was your culinary experience prior to making
Just
pizza?
I only
Okay.
know how to make pizza.
That's what's
I
up.
literally like before radio, before all that, my story like goes way back. But I worked at a barber shop across the street. There was this pizzeria. My friend Nino like ran this place. He was a 12-time world champion pizza guy.
Damn.
I started training
Oh
with him.
shit, he had the belts. Oh,
Yo,
you training with the pizza guy?
I trained with the pizza guy for real. Like, and he's like
God
12.
damn.
Look up Nino Caniglio. He's a beast with pizza. Like,
Bro, all I need to hear is his last name.
Yeah.
straight up.
I just need to
You know
hear his
that-
last name, and I know he's throwing down.
Oh my god.
He's throwing the dough, and it's coming back.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
doing that
straight
shit
up.
when it goes behind their back but up the arms.
Bro, 12-time back-to-back world champion pizza tosser.
Get
This guy's
outta
a
here.
beast. Like
Yeah.
going to Vegas to toss pizza, going to Paris to toss pizza.
What?
And he just had this place across the street from our barbershop. And he was like, he opened it when he was like 22. So he would get fucking obliterated. He would be so hammered at this pizzeria.
Nice.
And like from just being friends with him, I learned how to make pizza. I would like fill the window. He'd sleep till like 1 o'clock. Like we got really good at making pizzas. So I'm a big fan of pizza. And like, I love the fact that he did it like a superstar. Like he didn't just do pizza like, yeah, take your slice, whatever. Like he really values like the craft of making pizza.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just something about that was like, all right, that's a great backup plan. I'll get into the culinary stuff and just go from there. And I don't know. I mean, I started with Pizza Pusher just because the bread was there. I love like who he was, but it was a good transition into like taking pizza more serious. I moved in with Nino again for like a couple months, trained with him, like making bread, doing all this other stuff. And then I opened a pizzeria for a little bit, like during pandemic. I was in like the LES for like 6 months. I had a
Yeah?
pizzeria.
Lit.
Damn.
That was crazy. And then the real estate thing just popped up out of nowhere. And I was just like, I'm going for the bag. Like, forget it.
Facts.
I had a back and forth. Like, I posted this video on Instagram and Flex came for me. And like, I just decided, I'm like, I'm not hip on mic anymore. I'm going corporate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, time out. Before we move forward,
This guy.
y'all are not gonna we're not gonna bypass this. You're talking about Nino. He did that episode with Brad Leone on Bon Appetit.
Nino is one chopped. He's like been on
Yo,
Good Morning
bro.
America. He's a
Where
beast,
was his
bro.
pizza place?
Williams. That's
Yeah,
Williams.
you
You
said-
Right?
said
No.
Nino won Chopped.
Yeah, he won Chopped, the pizza episode.
Yo, bro.
Yo,
Nino's
y'all
a
better
beast.
put some respect on this man's
Put some
name.
respect
Nah,
on
listen,
Nino's
I'm
name.
about to post this.
He's gonna love this.
I'm gonna post this info in the. But I listen. I just want to let you know.
He's a beast.
Yo, bro. I love food, and we're gonna get into that at some point because I said it.
Twiz is gonna be when we have the cooking show pop off. Twiz
Yeah.
is gonna be the host of that shit.
Yo, Mike is gonna
And
come
you're
show me how to make
come through on the
pizza.
pizza
Yes,
episode.
yeah.
Mike's gonna show me how to make pizza. I don't know.
I got y'all.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll do a
telling you,
pizza
lit.
episode.
That would be what's up.
Yo, look, but the thing I want to say is I watched that episode like 4 times because it was so dope. Because Brad Leone is a person, but now Nino, like knowing the connection, like he was so dope too. Their energy was super like infectious. It was dope though. It was dope to watch because it was 2 people actually genuinely being themselves, as opposed to when you see people on videos doing like, you know, a bunch of corny stuff and you could tell the energy's a little off and they're trying to make it work. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, everything's scripted, and they're like jumbling over their words. They're trying to remember lines instead of just running with shit.
They
you know
pulled
what
the
I mean?
wrong turkey out. This one's still raw.
Nino will mess up with anything that's structured, but if you just give him like random materials, he'll make a pizza out
He'll
of
make
it.
a pizza.
You
Bro,
give him like
he's an
a
artist.
crayon, a hanger, he'll make a pizza out of it. He'll figure out how to make a pizza out of anything.
That's what I'm saying. He's the MacGyver of pizza. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Straight up.
So, did the cookies come before or after pizza? Because I know you mentioned that you went for the pizza and then you went to corporate, Mike. But where did the cookies fall in this?
So after working with Pizza Push, I did the pizzeria for a little bit. Then I moved in with Nino. Very quickly, I had to leave Nino because as much as I love him, he is not an organized guy that is like business minded. Like he has the best recipes in the game and he can sell those recipes and make a lot of money. He could like run a pizzeria like no problem. But like I was trying to do some social media stuff with him and like it was just chaotic and I wasn't making any money.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I learned a little bit about the culinary stuff. I see where some of this applies to like doing other things and like the cookies were just like, where can I take these skills that I'm learning from like bread making and apply them to like another thing that I love? And I love cookies. So I was like,
I love cookies too.
Let's
So when
go.
I seen that you were when I was reading on the cookie content, I was like, I wonder what this guy is. There cornstarch in there? What's he putting in
nah,
there?
I spent months making cookies, like at least 3-4 months of just trying to perfect like making cookies, like tweaking recipes, using different flours, using different like hydration ratios. Like it was just crazy making cookies.
When the pandemic came around, that was like my shit. I bought a mixer and I was like, I'm gonna fucking make like bomb ass cookies.
Yeah, you
cheesecake,
bought one of them
brownies.
KitchenAid joints.
Yeah,
That's
you
got
remember,
right?
That's got the fucking hook.
Dude, I spent so much.
The
dope
hook attachment.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I remember being in Macy's and I was telling my girl, I was like, oh, I'm going to get this. And she's like, oh my God, what the fuck are you going to do now? Because I am compulsive with my hobbies.
Yeah.
So,
He used to do bonsai trees.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I love that for you.
I wasn't an expert at bonsai. Yeah, and then they sold
Whole apartment full of bonsai trees.
I'm the same way. I like trying a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, I ventured off into saltwater fish after that, but then after saltwater fish, I'm really good at throwing money at dumb shit. I'm super good at that.
That's how this podcast started.
That's how we got
We
here.
just started throwing money at some dumb
This,
shit and
this
it's
stuck
stuck.
though. This stuck.
But this is not
Way
like the
easier than
saltwater
saltwater
fish.
fish.
100%. There's no
Way
pH
easier.
balance in here.
No.
But
man.
I started making cookies, and this was like when I seen the. Do you ever see that Instagram, My Cookie Dealer?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
He's
so-
like the standard. Like for cookies, he's like the guy.
Bro, when
Yeah.
I seen those enormous cookies, I was like, I gotta make these. These ain't your standard like regular flat or crunchy cookies. These look like soft and delicious.
They're
Yeah.
a half pound big.
Nah, they were legit. And yo, every time I ordered it, I don't know what kind of ninja with like the moose shoes, like the
my
the
gosh.
camel shoes. You know, the little two-toe joint.
Oh, yeah.
Because they would drop them over my door, and I'd never see them. I never see them.
It's
Middle of the
crazy.
day, same day, next day. I'm like, what? And then I found out, aren't they both like fitness people?
Oh, he's
yeah.
yoked. You never seen him?
Bro, I did see him,
Yeah,
and I was like,
Ron's
this can't be the
yoked.
guy. So then I was like, oh,
enormous.
there's protein in these. I was like, I'm getting more, but there's not.
If I eat enough of those, will I be as big as him?
That's what I thought. Trust me. I almost died.
Yeah, you'll die. You'll
Yeah, I
go
don't
broke
know.
before you die. I'll
They
tell
were
you that.
delicious, bro. They were
They're
unbelievable.
super good.
Yeah,
That
you got to
rainbow
split
cookie
them with
one?
somebody.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You should eat responsibly.
For sure. Yeah, I don't ever eat responsibly. It's one of my biggest
Yeah.
downfalls.
Please,
That's
man.
the
No,
story of
man.
my
Listen,
life, dude.
indulge, man. It's good.
Story of my life.
Oh man.
You know?
Yeah, cookie stuff is fun, man. Like I feel like I never got so much like traction. Like people would just blow me up like all day. Yo, can you come through with cookies? You got cookies. If I show up somewhere, they're like, you didn't bring cookies with you? Damn. I'm like, I had to have cookies on me all the time when I was doing that.
Yeah. So, and these are regular cookies, right?
Yeah, just regular ones.
Just regular
I did
cookies.
one like round of infused cookies for Trap Exotics, but that was it. Like
Yeah.
all the cookies were regular.
Ooh, one and
Okay.
done, baby.
Yeah,
Exclusive,
one and done.
exclusive.
Yeah, man. That's the supreme like one day drop of cookies. So,
I'm big on making people happy.
Yeah.
If they want that, I'll make them.
Yeah, facts.
so how are you making these cookies? By the way, I don't mean to continue down the cookie because I'm curious. Like, were you doing this like at your crib? Were you?
Yeah, that's how it started. It's like it's a long story, but long story short, I start at the crib. I'm like baking cookies, trying to get the recipe right. I'm doing like very small batches. I have like a 4-quart KitchenAid. I'm just like I could only make like so many at one time, so I'm just testing. Once I start getting like I post it on the gram, it gets busy. People are ordering. I'm like I start trying to make like 80 cookies at my house, 90 cookies, 100 cookies. Then it was just like I'm spending 9 hours doing something that I could do somewhere in an hour if I have a bigger mixer, bigger oven.
Facts.
So I start thinking like I need to get a bigger mixer. I need to get a bigger oven. Where can I do this? So I'm like talking to people. They're like, yo, you could use my restaurant. You could use this space, that space. So I partner with this couple that like I was going to their spot every day. They fucking steal my recipe and start their own cookie company.
No.
Right? Yeah, scumbags. Terrible, terrible people.
Fuck those guys.
So then I
Their
changed-
cookies suck.
Yeah,
They're
they
not
do.
the same.
They're not the same.
As Corporate Mike's cookies,
They're
Hip Hop
not.
Mike's cookies. Mike's cookies are the real cookies.
You can steal the recipe, but what the thing about cookies is like DJs, they can play the same songs, but they're gonna cut it up different. It's cookies are like it's like an emotional connection. Like you have to really like nobody makes stuff like how grandma makes stuff because grandma could eye stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Facts.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, that's 100% true.
Like,
Facts. My girl learned that trying to make rice for my mother.
Yo,
Tiene que
bro.
poner aceite
That's
como
what
el
I'm
tamaño
saying.
de un pancake. My mom would say you just got to put as much oil in the pan as the size of a pancake. That's not a unit
that's
of
what I'm
measurement.
saying,
That's
yeah.
not a unit of measurement.
So
You know what
like
I'm
you
saying?
could steal the recipe, but like you can't do that. Like
No.
and I spent months doing that. So like I understood exactly how much of what to put where. Took the recipe, did my own thing, and like I started trying to figure out like, all right, well, where am I gonna do this now? And like I have trust issues. I don't want to go to a restaurant and do it. So I call my cousin low key who has like the distribution down for Utz potato chips and like a lot of other companies.
Hey.
And he's like, why are you making the cookies? And I was like, well, that's what you do. Like, I'm watching, like, Cookie Dealer, like, Juan and his wife are making cookies. They have, like, this big factory. Like, I'm like, I need more ovens, more mixers. He's like, nah. He's like, you need a co-packer. So he linked me up with a co-packer. I go to this warehouse, and they start making the cookies. And they're like, we can make 30,000 a day. They're like, we can just make all the cookies.
Okay, so this is a cookie factory
Yeah.
they don't create the recipe or create
No,
the
I
product.
went there.
You come there and say, make this.
Yeah, and then they had
it's
a
like
team-
printing t-shirts with a company.
Exactly. They had 40 like undocumented people working in this cookie bakery. Like it was crazy.
That's what I'm talking about. You lose a hand in there, papa, you're fired. You know?
I said just stir the cookie. No, just,
Yeah. When you come back, we'll put you in a different room. But
That's
you
it.
can't
We're
get
gonna
here
take
no
that
more.
thing up.
no. Fortunately, they're like a very reputable bakery. Like my cousin got the clout in that food world, and they're a very like they do big companies. Like, I'm not gonna like tell everybody what they produce, but I'll tell y'all off air. They're like legit.
I'm sure they do.
that's
I'm sure they
fire.
have massive companies that people like would be stunned if they knew they
Crazy.
were. That,
Yeah.
you know,
And
that,
how many Keebler elves they had in there?
Yeah, like straight up, like it's a situation. Not saying that they make for Keebler, but it's like if I was like, oh, they just make Keebler cookies, like that's what they do. Like they make for companies that are as big, maybe bigger.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's crazy.
So it's major league type of companies they're producing for.
Talk about
Yeah.
Major League Cookies here, buddy.
And I'm
Yeah.
well, no, I was a small client. I ordered like 1,500 in like one shot, and I had to freeze like half of them because like I'm still trying to build it. So it's just like a lot of work. So like I placed the order. I'd pick up all these cookie boxes. I'd drive them out to like this warehouse we had in Holbrook. I'd put them in a freezer.
Holbrook.
And then I'd like start shipping them. Like every day I'd get orders, like drive out there, ship them, drive back. It was just like so much running around back and forth. And like the thing is like they're a very beautiful, clean, like well put together bakery. I didn't have any sort of like nutritional facts, like all the stickers. So they would give me like a real quality product, but I didn't have like the money or the knowledge to like legally get like the stamps and everything.
Yeah, and packaging and stuff, right?
Yeah, well, so I had the packaging. I did like the Alibaba thing. Like I figured out like how to make it look great. But like the thing with food is when you make your own like recipe, your own product, you have to submit it to like a college upstate. They like essentially burn up the product like to get the calories and the macros, like whatever, all that stuff. They give you a nutritional sticker, and like each label is like a couple of grand to get. And I have like 6 different cookies, and I get like 6 different labels, you know? So I'm not like a big time guy, but I have like some plugs that could make it that way. And then, you know, the real estate just came along, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get the bag, and then I'll do a cookie store. Like I'll do all this stuff. And then I got the bag, and I was like thinking of doing cookies, but then I always want to do the podcast. I feel like so many people want the podcast. It's so much more manageable. I said, let me just put the money into this. And then I just let the cookies just be on the back burner, you know? And I want to do them again one day, but it's like, that's such a full-time job, and you really need like a full team.
Yeah.
Damn, I want to fucking try one. You know what I'm saying? I want a goddamn cookie, Mike. That's what I'm saying.
If y'all come to my crib, I'll make cookies that day.
Yeah.
Y'all pull up and
Look at that. You know, whip one
I
up.
got you.
So I'm talking
I
about.
got the 8-quart commercial KitchenAid in the crib.
Get
That's
out
a
of
big-
here.
That's, dude, 8 quarts?
That shit don't
is
even
a
fit my
big
apartment.
fucking- that's a big.
Yeah, nah, you
You
got
need 2 hands and you need a spotter
Yeah.
to lift that
Bro,
shit
that's
up.
the shit that comes with the screen over the top.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like, so you don't get that
Legit.
kickback. I told you I made a couple cookies. You know, no
Yeah,
big
nah,
deal.
you know your
no,
KitchenAids.
no big deal.
You see this?
No big
I respect
deal.
it. I respect a man that knows his KitchenAids.
See?
People be
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
Yeah, I got the teal one, but it was on sale. You know, it
That's
doesn't
what you
match
gotta
my
do. The
kitchen.
red one is a
Say that.
floss, you know?
The red one is nice.
Red ones, you
Yeah.
flex with the red one.
I gave the red one away to my boy, and I felt like I lost a piece of me, but he really needed one. I have this giant silver one. I'm like,
I feel like the
Aight.
red one is like the OG. Like, cause back in the days, people's kitchen, you know, you had that like that old school diner look, checkered tiles. You
Yeah.
get a red appliance that pops on the countertop.
That's a fact.
yeah, nah. You throw the flour in the red one, you feel like Betty Crocker for real. You
Well,
like, I'm
legit.
Betty Crocker.
Yeah, look at me. And my fucking butter
He
softened.
said, now I'm Bakery Mike.
Oh, yo.
Now I'm Bakery Mike. Watch him out.
Not next name is Carbone Poppy. I'm
Carbone
going to
Poppy.
Oh,
Carbone
yeah?
Poppy. I decided. I don't know if it's gonna be next year or 10 years, but that's the next name is Carbone Poppy.
Yo,
for
lock
sure.
that gram down before
we got
somebody.
it.
Before
I tried. Somebody
fucking-
already got it.
Ah, God damn
I
it.
gotta wait for them to disappear.
Go ahead. So what were you
Nah, I
gonna
just
say?
want to just we talk about cookies and my cookie dealer and corporate Mike's cookie, hip hop Mike's cookies. I just want to shout out Alexa. Alexa makes one of the meanest cookies this side of the Mississippi. So
Shout out to
Alexa,
her.
that
Shout out
Alexa, that
Alexa.
shout out is for you. All right. So
Shout
you
out to
know
Alexa.
that we appreciate you over here. They've never had them, but I've had them.
We
Who's
love
Alexa?
them.
Yo, bro, and I'm not a cookie guy.
Who's Alexa?
Nah,
I
Alexa's,
don't know.
Alexa's one of my
Yeah,
one of my
talk to us.
homegirls.
Oh,
Talk to us,
yeah.
Yo,
Wiz.
come on.
Well,
You keep on saying that name. Speakers are going to start talking
That's
and playing
Alexa.
music and shit.
crazy. Nah, Alexa's
You know?
Alexa's one of my homegirls and one of my coworkers. We work together. But she occasionally she'll bring in cookies, you know, for the squad, and you know, they're pretty good.
This
Well, I've never
reminds
had
me-
one.
This reminds me when I was on Hot 97, I'd be like, yo, shout out my girl Carmen.
Yeah.
and you know I liked Carmen if I was shouting Carmen out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is let me find out. Twiz. I'm going to put you on the spot. Shout out
Yeah.
Alexa and her cookies.
Yeah, shout out to Lex and her cookies because I know she didn't pay for a spot. So
Twizzy did it all for the cookies.
Nah, baby. Nah, that's my
we're
homegirl.
real friends. You know, I gotta.
Yeah, nah, I know. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, I don't know where we were going with this. I had something that I was gonna. You know what I mean,
Go ahead.
wanna-
So there's not a
Go ahead,
direction
man,
I want
what
to go.
you
I
got,
feel
bro?
like also I've chronologically in my timeline of conversation, I've gotten to where I want to be.
Nice.
I'm ready for. I know what I'm going to next, so you can say whatever.
Oh,
you
so
want.
it's time for the Twizzy takeover.
Oh,
Let's hear it.
Nah.
Twizzy takeover.
Yo, listen, Mike, we gotta
He's the only
address
one with a
it.
lower third now. How come he's the only one that
I
gets
got
shout
you
out?
because he deaded all ours.
No, don't post that. I forgot to make one for him. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, because he's already in the he's in the description. Yo, everybody, just so you know, make sure you check the chat. Everybody in the live chat, we appreciate you for rocking with us. You can find in the live chat the link to Corporate Mike's Instagram, his YouTube, as well as My Cookie Dealer, and shout out Nino. We got Nino.
Big up Nino.
His Instagram in here as well is Brooklyn Pizza Crew. So make sure you check everybody out that we discuss, and make sure you give a thumbs up because that helps us get our content to you easier and faster. And also check out Mike's stuff because he's lit. But
Hey.
get into my point.
Everybody in the chat's talking about how you made their Alexas go off.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But nah, Mike, I gotta talk to you, bro, because this is, you know, you and me, like Mike said, we're really friends, like,
Real friends.
So here's what I want to talk to you about, bro.
What's up?
This is my beef.
Talk to me.
How you go to all these fine eateries and you never invite your mans for an elite eat
man.
night? What's up? You on the spot now. Now we
Don't
putting you on
say
the spot.
that ever again.
Don't
That's
say
the
that
name of the
word,
show.
yeah. That's the name of the show.
What is it?
Elite Eats.
Elite Eats.
I love it. That's a great name.
And guess what? I locked in the name already. Lit.
Listen, if you got the bag, you could always come out. I'll go to Kima tonight.
Nah, we broke, baby.
I'll go to
Yo.
Toku right now.
I was just gonna say, you want to go to Tokyo? Where you want?
I go to Blackstone, Opus, any
I
of
was
them.
just gonna say Blackstone. Where
Don't
you
play
want?
with me.
Listen,
You want
hold up.
Prime, puppy?
Nah,
Damn,
baby,
what are
listen.
these? You
Hold
guys
on.
are talking some restaurants I don't even know.
Blackstone's a steakhouse.
Yo, bro, I've
got
never
it.
even heard of some of these places. You know, I eat. Like, you know, I go. Like there's places I go. Like,
Apparently,
you know
I'm
what saying?
poor.
Nah.
Yo, I'm poor. Look, I got.
You got what? This guy flashing cake count
You got
money out
cash,
here,
bro.
I
out
got
here.
$20.
I got this app. Shout out to Dorcia. I got this app, Dorcia. You should get that app and book anywhere. I could go to any restaurant at any time.
Oh,
Tell
really?
you, I'm gonna
What's
put
it
that out
called?
there. Dorcia.
Dorcia.
People don't even know
Dorcia-
about it.
And that's to make reservations, like open table kind of
I'll
stuff.
show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys. Just
Wait,
because,
hold on. Is this some off air you're supposed to be telling us, bro?
Nah, I'm gonna tell y'all on air just because I love this app so much, and they don't even pay me, and I love this app so much. You could go on here right now. You can make a reservation at Carbone. You can make the reservations at Cote. You could go any restaurant, like literally any restaurant that you can't get a table at. You could get a table on here, like anywhere. It's
Nah, that's
crazy.
crazy.
Corner Bar, Torisi, Ito, all of them, all the bougie ass ish. I'm
Damn,
telling
you must really know these spots because I would have rolled the dice pronouncing those live. Yo, he was really hitting it.
I know them. I know the spots. I'm
Yo,
telling you, yo.
goddamn.
I made a really bad decision. And I spent $39,000 on food last year eating out. So
Sheesh.
Nah, that's a really good
I'm
bad
trying to-
decision.
It's a bad decision. I'm trying to slow down now, but I like really got carried away. I got rich last year and got carried away. It's not good.
How much
Well-
lobster mac and cheese did you could
Oh my
one
God.
man have?
Bro, it's crazy. Lobster Mac's my favorite.
I love that shit.
Oh, word?
I love that shit.
It's usually a special.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a fact.
Bro, did I have that at my wedding?
I
I
ate
was just
everything
gonna
in there,
say,
but I was a little wet at the
I think
wedding.
that was the crown jewel, but I don't remember eating.
I remember they brought me seconds of every kind of steak they had.
Yeah, that's
they came over and they
crazy.
were like, more filet. I said, what?
I feel like I'm
I
being
said, of
set
course.
up.
Yeah.
We took food home, bro.
Bro, you
We
kidding
just
me? I brought
home a bunch
Tupperware.
of fucking steaks and shit.
I told my girl, I said, bring your big bag. Bring the tote.
It's like Napoleon Dynamite
No,
putting
you
the tater
kidding me?
tots.
They put it in the
Facts.
bag, bro. I got my wedding was at damn, what was the name of that place?
Insignia.
Insignia.
Oh, you did that Insignia?
Bomb.
Yeah, and
I wasn't
bro,
invited.
Last
by
time
the
they
way.
had a Latino wedding there ever.
First of all, they kept coming in to tell us to turn the music down.
No.
Dead
And-
ass.
but my DJ was like, yeah, and
turn
just
it
kept
up.
it rocking, right? At one point, this lady stumbles into the party. And she's like, oh my God, like I never hear this music here, right? And then the guy comes in and behind her, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. He comes in and he's like pulling cigars out of his pocket or something like that.
Oh, I remember that guy. He came out with us outside to smoke
Yes,
cigars.
That guy was one of the owners or something like that. And I think he's somewhat Puerto Rican or something like that. And he was like, yo, we never get this music here. Like this shit's lit. And they let me stay there an extra hour.
Sick.
They didn't say anything.
sick.
They didn't kick us out. Dude, shout out to Insignia. Excellent food. They were like, I think that year they won like the Knott's Best Place to Get Married or some shit like that.
Well, the food was bomb. The venue was beautiful.
I love it.
but
you
the,
know?
the food is what I was getting at. The food was fucking delicious. And they let us take mad food home, bro.
Let us. You bought that shit.
I don't
You
fuck
got a
it.
free hour though.
Yeah,
And
true.
I got a free hour.
True.
And that hour over there,
That's an expensive hour.
That- you ain't
it's,
lying.
It's an expensive hour.
Yeah, trust
thought-
me. I ate my body weight in steak just for you. Just 'cause I knew how much you
They
spent.
definitely came in like when they were supposed to be winding down, and they said, "Damn, these motherfuckers are just turning up." Close the door back.
Wait. So
Dude gave me a free hour, so shouts out to them.
Amazing.
Shout out.
so my question is now,
I know what you're gonna get at.
what am I gonna get at?
I know what you're gonna get.
No,
at.
you don't.
It was a small event, bro.
Yo,
not a lot of people
Yeah.
went.
Nah,
I had
so-
uncles that didn't go.
Here we go.
I did.
Nah,
I had
bro,
uncles.
listen.
I had people with the same
He-
last name as me.
Listen, he ain't even. You feel me?
He invited my
Y'all
girl
know,
with a
look, you
plus
see, that's
one.
the guilt talking. That's the guilt talking. But no, Mike. So what does one's budget need to look like to eat with the big time?
Well,
corporate
now I feel like that I'm single. I'm kind of solo dolo. I'm like revisiting all the places that I would not be able to go to with Shorty, because Shorty had very expensive taste.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could catch me at like on Conduit eating jerk chicken.
Lit.
Like you
Yeah.
could catch me in East New York eating jerk chicken. Anywhere they got jerk, chicken,
chicken. Yeah.
I'm gonna be there. You catch me like eating pizza again, like. Cause with her, I'd be like, "Yo, let's go get some Peruvian food, whatever."
I love Peruvian food.
And she'd be like,
Yeah,
"Yo,
me
we
too.
gotta go." And I ain't trying to ish on her, but she had like very expensive taste. So I'm like, I like enjoying like some street food sometimes.
Yeah.
You said Peruvian food. This fucking guy almost fell out his chair.
I love Peruvian food, but I also understand
loves
what you're saying
Peruvian
with
women.
with the expensive taste. You know, sometimes you go out with somebody and their eyes just go right to the Rock Lobster. I'm like, baby, you haven't
Yeah.
even looked at the whole menu yet.
I looked at it. They looked at. They go
Are
to
you
the
looking
price.
at the numbers or are you looking at the,
They
at
go
the
to the
items?
price
Always.
and then they go over.
Yeah.
If you find them picking their meal from the right side of the menu and then going over, nah, you should
Yeah,
be going
it's
this
like-
way and over this way.
Yo,
What are
and
you
it-
doing? You don't even like tilapia.
It's never the spots too that are like the name spots. Like granted, this app is cool because you get to go to the name spots. But like my favorite food is like Bar Pity. And it's like a pretty big name, but it's not as big as Carbone. You go there and get bomb food, and it's like $100 for like 4 people, maybe.
That's excellent.
Like I
That's
love
lit.
spots. Like I'm telling you, that spot on Conduit is making jerk chicken better than they making it in most spots in Jamaica. And like it's like $12. You get a whole plate of jerk chicken, mac and cheese, cornbread, rice, oxtail gravy, and it's like $12.
Yo, my man.
Don't talk about oxtail, bro.
Yeah, yo, my man.
That is my shit.
Yo, my man.
Oxtail slap.
Mention, talk to me.
Come on,
That's
Yo,
my-
oxtail is the caviar of the meat world.
bro, it really is.
Yo,
that shit's expensive as fuck.
The most tender meat you can get is against the bone.
Facts.
Yeah.
Pause.
The
Facts.
entire oxtail is on the bone. Every part of the goddamn thing.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
You know, it's unreal.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not a big oxtail guy. I want to
not?
fake it for you guys, but
That's
I'm
why he looks like that.
It's just too fatty for me. It's just gelatinous. It's,
No, I do the jerk chicken. I do like 2 or 3 pieces of oxtail, and then I get a hell of a lot of oxtail gravy.
See,
The
he said
gravy
the
I
oxtail
could
gravy
do.
because that's what he said.
Yeah.
Like
The
the gotta go
gravy
from
on the
oxtail.
chicken. I mean, I like a little bit. Like I don't like too much fatty. Like I don't want to eat a whole meal of just fat.
Yeah.
But like I have a couple pieces just to sweeten up like the chicken, and then all together, man, you can't go wrong. And
Yo.
for $12,
My
for
man
$12,
really be
that's
eating.
amazing.
$12.
How you
you're
feel
a
about
buck.
the spice? How do you?
It's no, I'm good. I love spice. I'm like
Okay,
big.
good.
I'm big on spice. I'm big on trying different stuff. Like I draw the line at like crickets. Like honestly, like I went to LA and they had this taco on the menu that I thought it was oxtail. I don't know how to say cricket in Spanish, but it's something with ox because they gave me a taco full of crickets.
Oh, stop
You
playing.
thought that shit was rabo. That shit
We don't
was-
eat that shit
I
in
don't
Puerto
know what it
Rico.
was.
Where is that? Is that?
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know.
I think it was
Our
Mexican.
islands are next
I
to
think
each
it was
other.
Mexican because it was in LA and like most of the
Oh, yeah,
good
yeah.
tacos in LA are like Mexican spots.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
facts.
fact.
It might have been.
Listen,
Mexican.
bro, we only do carnitas over here. You heard?
Carnitas,
Los
yeah.
cebolla, los cilantro.
I like
Aguacate,
I like
that's it.
tacos of all kind. I don't discriminate against tacos.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I
this,
do.
This was like the pick 3. I had like a chicken, an oxtail, and like something else, and then the oxtail ended up being crickets. And I'm like, I don't want any of these tacos now.
Damn, son. Yo, I would be upset if somebody.
Yeah,
Did you
can you-
check your order? Were you like, yo, I
Yeah, no,
didn't-
I just don't speak Spanish, and I ordered something that was clearly in Spanish
Yeah.
that I just saw ox, and I was like, oh, it must be oxtail.
How do you say cricket in Spanish? I don't even know how.
Cricket.
I'm Puerto Rican.
I have
I
no
know.
idea.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'm Puerto
find
Rican.
out.
We
I have
don't,
no idea.
you
Twins,
know.
can you tell
Yeah,
us?
I got you. Hold on,
How,
hold on,
how do
hold
they
on,
say?
please.
Criquete.
And then I want to get back to the task at hand.
But yeah,
Oh, not. Yo, it literally says cricket.
Yeah,
lo
y'all was
dije.
trying to play me.
Te lo dije.
Y'all was trying to play me like I don't know how to say it.
It says, ¿Cómo se dice en inglés cricket?
Cricket.
Cricket.
¿Cómo
man.
cómo se llama el cricket en español?
Yeah, I don't know, man. We got any? Let me see who's in. What's up with the chat? Should we catch up on the chat,
Yeah,
Twiz?
I'll catch you up on the chat. I
Yeah,
got you,
catch
bro.
up on the chat.
No,
So
it's
listen,
cool.
man. Special shout out to
Oaxaca tacos.
Osaka?
Oaxaca.
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 Oaxaca. I
Oaxaca.
ordered that. I thought it was oxtail.
Nah, Oaxaca's a pepper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it was
It's like
definitely a peppery cricket.
I think it's like a pepper or a sauce. It's
Yeah,
like,
Oaxaca.
Yeah, it was all red. It was like marinated cricket. It was crazy.
Damn, it's a grub.
did you think for a second, like, maybe I'll just, try to get a quick bite?
My friend tried it. I was good. I'm like, he ate that, like, no problem. I was like, I'm not eating no crickets. I used to have like a pet bearded dragon that I would feed crickets.
Oh yeah, nah. Nah.
I'm good.
I went through a reptile phase too. Ball pythons, 2 of them.
Yo, when you said the saltwater tanks, I'm like, it just had flashbacks to carrying jugs of salt water like upstairs to
Bro,
dump in the tanks.
I never realized how stupid I was in some of my hobbies until I got into salt water. The person who put me on was like, hey, listen, Roberto, this is a fucking money pit. I want you to know that this isn't a good idea. And I'm not proud of the decisions that you're making.
They
But-
tell that to every person that buys a boat. They tell it to every person buys a Jeep. Fuck it.
Yeah, nobody broke buys boats though. There's a lot of broke people with saltwater tanks.
There's not people buying
with-
boats.
there's
They're little boats.
Yeah, small boats.
And old boats.
Well, I
But they're
remember,
boats.
I remember telling my wife, I was like, I'm getting a fish tank. And she's like, oh, fuck. We're back to the fuck. And she's like, at least it's not snakes. She goes, why are you going to get a fish tank? I'm like, think about it, honey. Look about how beautiful it's going to be. It's like a painting
yeah.
that's like real and it's always here and it's alive. I'm like, what's better than that? I'm going to get smacked and stand in front of this thing for hours.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought too.
And it didn't go like that. No,
You
it
never
didn't
do
go-
that.
Dude, thousands of dollars.
All right, bro, I believe it. You
I had-
buy
Bumps,
something.
The coral, everything. Bro.
And my tank was a reef tank.
Yeah, you
dude, I
have
had enormous. Bro, I had my own dedicated Instagram.
Yo, when
bro.
I tell you, I was so mad. You know how long I had beat making Instagrams? I had all kinds of shit I tried to get off. This guy starts this fucking saltwater tank.
yeah, Bobby the Reefer.
He
It went
starts an
crazy.
Instagram called Bobby the Reefer,
Amazing.
and all of a sudden starts fucking popping.
Amazing. That's how it goes.
Dude, it's so stupid. because
And I'm
it was
like,
so-
bro, what? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, I've been trying to get this beat fucking Instagram.
Hey,
off
bro,
the
how
ground.
bad at social media am I?
Bro, he would just post something and leave it. Next day he comes back, 300 likes,
Yeah.
16 followers. I'm like, bro.
It goes to what you said before, though. Is like everybody wants to be the artist. Nobody wants to do anything else. Like,
Yeah, it's true.
like
It's
a
true.
Big wake up for me was like I always thought like I want to be Funk Flex one day. Like when I realized like there's an old Jewish guy that's really rich that owns Hot 97, I'm like I want to be that guy.
Yeah, that's
I
a
was like, why
fact.
do I want to be Funk Flex?
That's a
Yo, I
fact.
wish we had an air horn. Bah, bah,
Yeah.
bah, bah, bah,
And,
bah.
like,
Drop a bomb on that.
It was life changing. Like just realizing that, I feel like so many people are like missing like joy and purpose and like good energy in their life because they're so distracted by doing this thing that everybody else thinks is great, but then
Facts.
you do that thing and it's not as great. And like there's other things. Like if you have a passion for fish and you're having fun and you love it, you could be a superstar in that world and like
Yeah.
probably make more money and live a more low key, like less crazy lifestyle and find so much joy. And people would be like, nah, I'm not messing with fish. I rap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yo, that's why I
Fuck
love
your
Everybody
9 to
wants to-
5, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, but it brings me to one of these things that I always like to say that in every industry, there's one person that's doing that's a millionaire, right? There's a guy who cuts my grass who charges me $35 weekly, right? And there's the guy that cuts somebody else's grass who's charging them $100,000 a month.
Somebody's grass in Sag Harbor.
Yeah.
Or somebody's
Just
grass.
like-
They're not paying $30 for their grass to get cut.
Yeah, there's a barber who's cutting hair for $35 a cut, and there's the barber who's doing it for $1,000 a cut.
That's a fact.
Facts.
Yeah, no,
Or
it's
more
real
than that.
talk. And it's really how you get carried away in the things that you love and how you build. Like, it's possible to do in anything. You just can't limit yourself. You
Yep.
know? And you got to do it with where you find joy. Like, I really went hard with the music industry stuff. But, like, the second I stopped feeling joy, it was like it didn't go, like, I didn't progress as quickly as I did when I was having fun.
Yep.
For sure.
know?
I mean, we've had that with the podcast. I mean, the reason why we do it as much as we do is we have fun doing it, and we try to be conscious of not making it a job. Because sometimes we'll be like, "Well, we need to structure certain parts. We need," and then we're like, "Stop doing that."
Yeah, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Bro,
you
we
know?
had a whole entire week discussion about how we're gonna break into segments, and it's gonna be 5 minutes for this, 15 minutes for
Yeah.
that, because
We were
want-
becoming Fox News.
But that's
we were
the
like,
thing.
"Stop!"
But then
we
it
were like,
becomes-
"Don't do that." You know what I'm saying?
Then it's a 9 to 5, and then you don't like it anymore.
Yep.
No, I know, but I correlate like uniformity with like
Success?
not necessarily success, but the potential for success.
I think it's smarter to do the work on the other end, where it's like, instead of try to plan it, do it how you guys are doing it. Like, think of how many clippable things are gonna come from this episode that could become like, you do 100 episodes. I'm sure there's themes that are like repetitive that you'd be like, advice on how to do X, Y. Like, you know how many videos I watch, and it's like Joe Rogan says something, and Matthew McConaughey says something, and it's like you go down the line. But those are all from 100 different episodes of all a variety of podcasts. Like,
That's a fact.
I feel like certain segments work. Like, I did the Analyze This because I wanted something that's short, that's funny, that's, you know, that I could just be comedic about. But the podcast, it doesn't work as well. It's like 2 hours long. It's, you know, I get way less views on it, but I just love doing it. So I do it for fun, and the entertainment, like content production side of me has something that's manageable that I could do on that scale. Like, you talking about this cooking show? Like, instead of breaking up this podcast to be something that's not fun anymore, go find something like the cooking show and have the same amount of fun you have doing this, like how you're doing it. And
Yeah, I love cooking.
And now you're covering something structured, something that's free. You're getting results from both worlds. Like, that's what I feel like really helps me feel fulfilled. Is like, I could go do my business 9 to 5, talk professionally, you know, go through like numbers and get that out. And then, you know, I could go hang out with Spider Cuz and get drunk on a Saturday and get crazy.
And go crazy.
And I'm
Shout out
not
to the
stressed
cuz.
about either of them, because it's like both are within my realm of like what I could wrap my head around. You know?
You mentioned something that we encounter all the time with long form content being like less. It generates less views.
For sure.
100%.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, 100. It's you put something out that's 3 minutes, that's, you know, kind of funny, it will blow up. You put something out that's 2 hours, that's full of funniness, and you know you'll have a 20-minute retention or something like that.
I mean, you think about it, if you're going through Spotify and you see like songs, or you see like the numbers, like I mean, I'm dating myself, but on iTunes, they used to have like how long the song was. Unless you really like that song, you're not listening to like a 12-minute song. You're gonna skip through. Like, if I go on YouTube and I'm trying to like get something for my drive to work, like, unless it's somebody I'm really, really interested in, I'm not giving most content that's like an hour long the same time I'd give like a 20, 30. Like, you trying to fit things into your day. You know, but I believe with the podcast, like, even if it is long form and it doesn't get as much up front, it's like the same thing you said. You have one episode that does crazy. That happens throughout the course of time. You know, I did so many interviews, and like certain ones would blow up, certain ones wouldn't. But like, it's the same, honestly, with real estate. I can make 1 million calls all year. I have friends that are making calls, trying to make deals, and they started in January and haven't made a penny all year. And I'm like, bro, you can make a call on December 31st that makes you $100,000, and now every hour the whole year was like you were getting paid $50 an hour.
Yeah.
And I really believe that. So I told him, I'm like, you can't be miserable making those calls. You have to be in the mentality is like, I'm making $50 an hour. And I feel like when I start trying to structure long form content to fit like what's gonna click, I'm doing that. I'm just like stressing myself out and not enjoying it, and then like I'm messing up almost the bigger return, which is like, I want these 2 hour episodes to be appreciated down the line.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Rogan popped until like 6-7 years in. Like, a lot of places, man, they do that. The long form, it takes a long time to stick.
Yeah, that's a fact. And you look at Rogan's old stuff. This dude's like in a bedroom with a webcam.
Yeah, straight
in the
up.
darkness.
With his homie, and they're figuring it out. Brian Redband.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure shit out. And he's like, wait, are we live? I think we're live. He's like, yeah, look, there's 300 people in here. Holy shit. Yeah. Remember that? He was saying how crazy it was 300 people. I said, that guy gets like 10 million downloads.
That episode with the 300 people probably has 3 million views from people just going back.
Yeah.
Doing their homework.
Dude, that happens all the time with me.
Yeah.
I'll hear like a reference towards like an old episode, something, and I don't know why. I just have to go find that shit.
Yeah.
I gotta see it for myself. I gotta experience it.
That's the thing, yeah. And that's like shout out to Ass Pizza. He said that to me one time. He's like, with his clothing, he's like, not everybody appreciates it, but I look at it as like I'm building a timeline, and like whenever they become aware of this timeline, there's like so many things for them to go back through. Like
Facts.
Earl Sweatshirt said early on, he did an interview with Rosenberg. He's like, I became a fan of music because I go through like these tunnels of Outkast, and then like I listen to all the Outkast there is to listen to for 3 months, and then I move over to like whoever else.
Yep.
And I feel like it's the same with podcasts. Like one day you guys are gonna have somebody that, like, say I have somebody that watches this episode, they love it, they're gonna watch the next one, and then I may reference something in an old one, they go do that same thing, go back, they like that one, and slowly you pick up people, and then one day you wake up and it's like the fish thing is like, bro, what the hell? Like we just went crazy last night, and you say like, all right, well, how long was that one? What kind of stuff did we talk about? And you tweak it, but I feel like making a conscious effort to clip it out, it really puts you in like a dangerous area of like, we have to hit these markers, and it takes away from like the rants.
Yeah.
Turns you into Hot 97.
It does.
It turns you into like a corporate structure of trying to look for views and get clicks instead of trying to create good content.
If you want it, it's good. Like to be completely honest, like the Snapchat show isn't necessarily about anything other than like, let's, put out news in quick, rapid form that's going to be just absorbed by people and get clicks and get sponsors. Like, and I enjoy it, like, because that format with that intention works for me. But if the show was like, yo, pour your heart out there and we're going to get sponsors on it, I wouldn't like it as much, even with that same format, but just with the content being something that's more like personal, like you have to have ways to express yourself that feel natural. If you want to do fish and somebody's like, nah, you can't do that, you're going to be like, damn, you're going to start being down, start doing stuff they want to do. It's like that was my thing with Nino, is like Nino loves making pizza, but I'm like, I want to be able to take this personality and get it on Instagram and let's sell a lot of pizza.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we just want different things. And I wanted to have fun this way. He wanted to have fun that way. It didn't work. So
he's like, I don't want to make him.
He's an artist. He's like the artist.
He's like, I already have money. Like, I just want to do this for the pizza. I'm like, I respect that. But like, I don't have money and I need to do this for a business. And it's like, neither of us are wrong. But like, for us to force each other to do this thing just because to the outside, it's like, well, he's the business guy, he's the pizza guy. It could work. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, on paper it could work. Yeah, that's like I was listening to an interview with Currency, and he was talking about when he first met Wiz. He was like, I knew that Wiz was gonna be enormous. Like he knew he was gonna be huge. He goes, because that's what he wanted. He goes, I didn't want that like to be enormous. He's like, I just want to make music, buy cars, and make enough music to buy cars and live his lifestyle.
Facts.
And they're both just as happy as one another.
Yeah,
and they're both very successful. So that's I'm a big advocate for that. Like, don't force anything, like especially when it comes to things like this that are meant to really resonate with people. If you're gonna force like news stories, you're gonna force like reading lyrics and doing like funny-ish, like it's still very carefree, but it's not like you have like you want to hit 6-7 minutes, like cool, but like the things that you're doing to like really resonate with people, I feel like you have to let the people make sense of it on their own. You can't tell them how to absorb it.
Yeah,
like, that's where a lot of these companies start like, going downhill.
That's crazy, because I was actually going to ask you if you had any advice for us as like podcasters. So I think you just answered the question before I answered it.
That's my advice for anybody is like, like do it in a way that feels like you're embodying like all your swag with it. Like, I sell real estate different than my best friends. Like, we might be very similar. We like to smoke together. We like to do all these same things. But when it comes to like being in conversation, I like to kind of be a little bit more assertive. I'll ask questions. He's a little bit more like, he falls back. He does a little bit better listening. And we both make deals. Like, it's, different people are going to have different reporters. My ex might be very happy with somebody else one day. God bless him. Like, you got to just be open to letting people gravitate where they go. And the only way to do that is like 1,000 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to give them
that's true
enough of a timeline that when they jump on the train, they're able to look back and be like, wow, I see this movement, and like I could get behind it.
Or the growth. It's all about the journey, boys.
Speaking of the journey, I'm curious, what's right now, like, what's your main focus aside from like what you're doing during the day? Is your main focus on building up Mike's meetings, or is your main focus on
I don't know, man. And I mean, I'm focused on the bag relentlessly, like always, but it's because it allows me to do like other stuff. It's hard to say. I've been very scrambled lately. I feel like I started as Hip Hop Mike. I went through that ish with Flex. I turned into Corporate Mike. I went through some ish with like my ex and with like the family life. And now I'm somewhere in like limbo between like hip hop, corporate, like, Carbone Poppy vibe. Like, Carbone Pop. Like, it's like food, music, business. Like, are like these three things that I always come back to. And I don't really know what direction to go. Like I'm kind of in a place right now where I'm trying to get more discipline. Like and I'm very skeptical of a lot of stuff. Like music definitely tainted me where like I watch things with a very close eye and I'm like, all right, well, this is what they telling us, but what's actually happening? And it's a bad habit. It's like I have to get like my faith right. I have to get my like manifesting, like thinking positive thoughts right. And I don't know, man. I gotta get in the gym. Like those are the things I'm really focused on right now because they feed all the other things.
So there are industry plants. They do exist. They're real. Okay, thank you for confirming that for us.
I think
They
people
exist.
stumble into it. Honestly, like I think it's just chaos. I'll give you an example, right? I don't feel like labels necessarily just want to sign kids because they're gonna be like a one hit. I just think that, you know, they're a big company. They're run by people who more times than not don't understand the culture. And you're thinking like, I have $1 million to spend, right? I could spend $1 million on person A where they're entitled to 60% of the return, or I could spend $1 million on person B where they're entitled to 20% of the return.
Yep.
I don't understand what either of them are doing, and they both have a lot of followers.
Yeah.
So let me just throw at, you know, number two with the 20%, like they'll take 20, I'll keep 80. And if they mess up, I'll write it off because we're in this business and it's business and whatever. They're not thinking about culturally. They don't think about how it affects the kids. So I don't think it's like an intention to just screw people. I don't think an artist goes to a label with the intention to be like, I'm going to get rich off this, get over on them. Like, I think everybody comes to the table thinking like, we expect this from you. You should expect this from us. But it's like nobody really understands each other, you know?
Is that going to happen forever? Is that going to be something? Because it seems like
It's
more and more
big.
people are very aware.
It's not just music. Look at real estate. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. There's very few people from my world that know what I'm talking about when I'm like net lease properties, cap rates, rent to sales ratio. Like a lot of people be like, don't know ish about investing in real estate. I didn't know anything about it like until I got around certain types of people that's what their clique does. Like, I think that's the disconnect is you have creatives on one end that are like very much tied to like, you know, a lot of times struggle or the situations that they're expressing. And then you have the other end where it's like college educated people that are, you know, about business, about numbers. It's like, where are these people meet? You know, it's the same. We see it all the time in the legal system. How many people are like, look at Young Thug's brother. This kid is running around with a gun, just got violated. Now he has to do 9 years. It's a kid that is Young Thug's brother who's probably like wants to protect himself. I'm not saying like I don't know the whole situation, but I give the benefit of the doubt to both sides, right?
Yeah.
He's running around with a gun. I don't think he shot anybody with it, but he got caught with a gun. Now he's doing 9 years. And this kid is the brother of a guy who's going through a RICO case, who's living in Atlanta and is probably defending himself. Yep. On the flip side, you have a judge who probably has never shot a gun, like outside of a range, you know, is definitely college educated, grew up in the legal system. So it's like over time being in that system, you probably have a lot less sympathy because you've seen so many shitty people that like, how is justice really going to get served? You know, in the music industry, in the real estate business, in anything, you work at a restaurant, you're going to get ished on for a minute until you move like the people at. So I don't know. I really don't think there's evil people out there. I just think the priorities aren't on the same page. And, you know, everybody prioritizes their own personal well-being.
Yep. It's perspective.
Like, I try not to
point.
do that. Honestly, I'm very big on being fair. Like, even with radio, like I always said, like I didn't think I should be the guy on radio. Like I always thought I should be like the behind the scenes guy, maybe do some podcasts. Like I didn't love broadcasting. So like what business do I have on a morning show? You know, like like I wasn't the guy that wants to talk quick news stories and all. So it's like me pursuing that, I maybe could have got that job, but I would have been holding that spot for somebody who did broadcast and do that. Like I'm going to do it from the streets. It's a fan of music. I never DJ'd. Like, I never really touched turntables. I was always like, I'll just play the records off the computer because I respect DJs. I respect dudes that's living that life. I don't love it. I'm not going to take away from what they doing. So, I don't know. The labels, I think they miss that. You know, they're like, they look at the kid as like, all right, well, what are our returns going to be at the end of the year with these 10 artists? They're not looking at it as like, this is this kid's one shot to save his money, to learn about investing, to know how to, put things together in a way that's creative, but also budgeted properly. Like, they don't know.
They're not
any of that.
concerned whether this person's making informed decisions.
Nah. And then on top of it, it's like, they worry about their family. So it's like, if you're a priority artist and you're my cousin that's a publicist, yo, guess what? I got this artist that we just signed. He's the biggest thing. I'm going to put you on that. And you might have like a kid you went to school with that doesn't have that same relationship, that worked their ass off at doing that job, that is working with like the bottom tier artists, because it's like that's
Because he doesn't have the in.
yeah.
And then you just get plugged.
And because somebody's more likely to be like, yeah, I'm gonna pay you like 100,000 cuz, and I'm gonna give them like 20,000. Like, it's cool. Like, we'll,
Yeah.
and they'll be fine with it because you family.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's messy all around. That's why I say I think people just need to take a second to like consider all sides of it, from even if it's not convenient, like. I just feel like it's really important to just be fair but firm in what you got to do. And
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm going on rants now.
Nah, you're good. Berto's very
bro,
good at
you're in the
that.
zone. No, you're in the zone, man. It's perspective.
It's super important to look at things from an objective perspective and just kind of make your decision based off of that.
Yeah. Yo, this guy's the worst.
Who?
Berto.
Berto.
When it
No,
comes to
I
that.
just don't make uninformed decisions. Somebody came by the other day, right? I'm working on my RV. I'm getting it ready. I'm probably putting things in it. I'm gonna use it as like a moving tool. And somebody comes by and they're like, "Hey, you want to sell this RV?" I said I wasn't thinking about selling it, but what you want to give me cash? So we're going back and forth, and he's like, "Well, what would you take for it?" I said, "Well, I have to see what the market's like." I said, I have an idea of what I think it's worth in my head, right?" And he was like, "Well, what about today? What are you going to take cash today?" And I'm like, "I don't have a number to give you." And this guy, and he wanted me to give him a number. So I just gave him an outrageous number that I knew would satisfy me, because I know it's definitely not above this, right? And he was like, "Nah, it's not worth that." I was like, "Probably not." I said, "But I don't make uninformed decisions, and I'm not going to fucking tell you to come through with fucking..." He ended up offering me some like ridiculously, not insulting to me, but like somebody else might have been insulted. And I was kind of like, "Dude, you can't even buy a car for that." I was like, "You can't buy an automobile for that. You most certainly can't." No, but yeah, I don't make uninformed decisions. I try not to. Sometimes you don't have a choice. I'll tell you what, I just, I'm in the process of purchasing a new home, right? And this is the most like uninformed decisions I've ever made, because when you look at the interest rates and where they at, right? And I'm talking, you have to like lock in you know this better than I do, right? I have to lock in my rate, right? And I'm kind of like, well, what's the current deviation, right? Like I understand it's volatile, but what's the deviation? Like, what's tomorrow versus today, and how much is it going up and how much is it going down? The difference between today and yesterday. And my real estate, my mortgage broker is like, "Well, it's not really moving around like that. It is moving a little bit. Well, maybe we could check again tomorrow, but tomorrow it could be higher, or you could buy points." And I'm like, "Wait a second, you'll sell me points?" I was like, "But if I buy these points and then in 6 months the rates go down, I kind of just fucking threw this money out, right?"
You're beat.
So I'm doing all these, but these aren't informed decisions because I don't really know too much about this industry. So I just looked at it logically and I said, "Okay, how much do you want for these points? 10 grand? How much is that going to save me? It's going to save me $255 a month. Well, if I take 10 grand and pay myself for 3 years, I make $277 a month. And 3 years is my break-even point. So I'd rather take my money and pay myself. But I'm gambling.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have the mortgage for 30 years. I'm not going to have the mortgage for 3 years. 3 years is the break-even point.
True.
So I'm rolling the dice. That was an uninformed decision. But sometimes, what am I going to do? Like, nobody has this crystal ball.
Well, then you're betting on yourself, which I respect,
I am betting on myself. I'm betting on myself.
Yeah, I respect it though. But now
Go way down, baby.
But
Bro,
that's where
I'm
you
betting on
win.
myself.
Like, and if you think about it, bro, at the end of the day, I just think it's so messed up that like I remember them teaching me tangents in high school. I didn't learn anything about interest rates.
No, you don't.
And
Now,
negative.
Tangent, cosine, or whatever.
Yeah, parallelogram, like all this shit.
dude, when they teach you percentages in schools, it's like a number over another one. It's not like
When's the last time you found a value for X? Cut that out,
Yeah.
bro.
See, that's the problem, bro. Is like the system is just so much like people do things to protect their own interests and not to protect the bigger picture, and then the bigger picture goes to hell, and then they just sign a bill to kick it down the road, and then we're going to talk about the debt ceiling in 6 months.
Yep.
raise it up.
Yeah, and then people are out here really struggling, and they don't think about the guy that like really can't afford the extra 50 cents on the can of Pepsi. Like they're
That's
just
a fact.
thinking about like, oh, well, if I get that 50 cents from a million people, then I'll be able to pay my friends. Or
Yeah, just like if the bank's going to sell me like a ridiculous rate, and if I take it and sign it and don't do my due diligence, it's the same thing with what we were talking about with the music industry. Like, if this guy's going to take 20%, then why not? You know what I'm saying?
crazy. But the power is with the people. That's where, like, I think they're not dumb. Like, you know, at the end of the day, people ain't dumb. And it's like, you know, I think the bigger powers that be in all of these industries, they like do more work at keeping the people like divided and in chaos than they do bringing it together. Because if people really came together and was like, we want to learn at interest rates or we're not showing up to school tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do?
The whole
Yeah.
system crumbles. It
Yeah,
collapses.
we could make Chick-fil-A open on Sundays.
For real.
We could.
Yo.
If we just stop showing up on Monday.
I'll be honest. I don't know. That guy's a little crazy. He's like one of those Jesus guys. He like,
Nah,
oh.
they just hired this. They just hired a diversion expert over there. They're
Gotcha.
getting
Oh,
tainted.
Oh, the whole, what is it? The equity, inclusion, and
Yeah,
diversity.
they just hired a diversity guy over there. Sundays are
my
coming,
God.
all right?
Yo, bro.
Yeah,
Sundays are coming.
We're literally like 3 months away from them saying the ice cream machine is broken.
Oh.
Nah, yo,
They're going corporate.
yo,
100%.
yo, you want to hear something crazy?
Go ahead.
There was a fucking meme like floating around the internet, bro, that said like for Father's Day, for like all fathers, that Chick-fil-A is open on Sunday. All fathers eat free on a Sunday at Chick-fil-A's. I was like, yo, they fucking hate
I will-
dads, bro.
I will
that's
say that
grimy.
Chick-fil-A, they hold strong in comparison to other, big corporate conglomerates.
yeah.
Like when they're like, no, we put Jesus first. Like they mean it.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Like, they
I
mean it.
But not-
Even the people there are friendly.
You
Yeah.
know, to own a Chick-fil-A, you have to work in a Chick-fil-A. Like that's my business is like I sell like Burger Kings, I sell Walgreens, CVS's, like Walmart's, you name it, Chick-fil-A's. And like to own a Chick-fil-A, you have to work at a Chick-fil-A. Like you could own the real estate, but like if you want to own a franchise, you got to start from the ground up and you have to be there like X amount of time. Like,
Yo.
where with any other one, like if I have $1 million, I could go start at McDonald's tomorrow. Never had experience, train. They'll get me up and going. Chick-fil-A, if you don't work there, they won't let you be a franchisee.
Damn, that makes sense because that's why there's so few.
Yeah, quality
Yeah.
control,
And I
bro.
was-
Right?
Dude, you took the words right out of my mouth. Yes. I was just going to say their quality control so high, bro. I had that. I've probably only had Chick-fil-A like 3 times in my life. Bro, I had that shit the other day.
Yo,
So
hits.
good, man.
It's magically delicious.
It
Chicken
slaps.
amazing.
Shit was slapping,
It
bro.
was like you say this all the time. It's like when you rip it apart, it's like real
It
chicken.
looks like chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
doesn't-
looks like
You
chicken.
don't rip it open and it looks like coral reef.
Yeah,
And you're like, what the fuck?
yeah.
What
No,
kind of chicken is this?
it's real chicken. It's like it's not the same shape as like the one next to you. Like the
Yeah, they're not all like kind of punched out of
Yeah.
some like chicken
Yeah,
mix.
that's a fact.
Yeah, damn, yo, they don't
Yeah.
look like they came out of some cookie factory, but they're chicken.
no,
like the chicken
nah.
factory
Dude,
patties.
quality meats.
Chicken run.
That was tough with the cookies. It just made me think. Like when I was doing the cookies on a scale, we had to tweak the recipe so much to not have it be like a piece of coral type ish. Like
Yeah.
bro, the first cookies that came from the warehouse were like bricks. They were like rocks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we had to like add egg. We had to take out some flour. Like we had to tweak it for a minute. Like mass producing is no joke. I don't know how Chick-fil-A does it.
I was just gonna say I don't. That's
Who with the good power of God?
Yeah, because it's not like you could just divide every. It's not like you could just
They're
times it.
connected to God. That's how they do
Sunday,
it.
they're like, listen, you better give us every Sunday if you want this chicken to keep coming out this good. And he's like, I'm telling you right now, you got every Sunday. We don't get this going. Every Sunday.
You fucking open up. I don't care if they don't show up on Monday.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's like, it's fine. We'll slaughter all the chickens on Sunday. Don't worry. It's nice and ready for Monday.
There was a fire in the hen house.
Right?
Yo.
What you got, Twiz?
Yeah, let me just catch up on the chat real quick. We have some people that were showing some love in here.
Yeah, I'm
so-
sorry, I can't read the chat, guys. My phone died.
Yeah, don't worry. That's why I'm
And
here.
Twiz doesn't
That's
pull
all
it up
good.
on the screen anymore.
Twiz the man.
I don't pull it. You know what?
No, you know what? It's not
Because
Twiz's
it's
fault.
my job.
It's not
no,
Twiz's
no,
fault.
no. It's my job to read the chat. Let
It's
me do.
not
Let me
Twiz's
do
fault.
me.
Shout out to everyone watching on Steamer, I think it was called. What was the
What?
Oh, Stitcher?
Stitcher.
Everybody listening on Stitcher?
Dropping that steamer, watching on Stitcher. We got
Ready to
you.
rumble? No. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Twiz.
Yo, but just real quick shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to Figs. Figs, shout out to you. He said, I think Mike might be my cousin low key. We kind of look alike.
Hey,
Y'all do look alike.
what's going on? I don't have
Hey.
any money for you. Yo, and shout out to Alexa. Big up Alexa in here. We know Alexa.
Shout out to
Alexa.
Alexa.
Shout out to Mama Brooks. My mama's in the chat.
Mama
she said,
Brooks.
She said, well, I loved you on Hot 97, but I'm glad you're doing what you love. She
Thanks.
said the new and improved mic.
I love it. I
Hey.
appreciate it,
Sick.
Mama Brooks.
And then Christoph had earlier said, he was like, yo, bro, you guys naming all these restaurants I never heard of. He said, I'm fat, man. What's good with the Taco Bell? And then he said, I'm dropping a steamer after this T-Bell soon, I think.
There you go.
Bro, honestly, Taco Bell is one of the ones I never went back to.
Nah, bro, I'm done.
Man,
I can't
that Crunch
eat it.
Wrap Supreme is my
Crunch
ish.
Wrap,
And the
bro.
Doritos Locos. I could
Bro.
do just that at Taco Bell.
you
And
This
guys
is,
are
this is literally
masochists.
my guy,
and I
bro.
do the small pizza.
Nah.
You know the small pizza?
Oh, yeah, the PH1 or the PH2?
Yeah.
Bro, when they got
VH1.
rid of the cheesy fiesta potatoes, I never went back.
Bro, Taco, you never went back for a Crunch Wrap Supreme, son?
Nah, bro. Honestly, I'm not a huge Taco Bell. Taco Bell is the lowest one on my. I'd rather have Checkers.
Facts. No, what? Wait.
Good luck
No
finding one.
disrespect to you guys.
Good luck finding one. Mike sold them all.
Yeah, check it.
If anybody is out there selling a Checkers, I got you.
Yeah. Listen, this guy's doing classy places. There's only Checkers in the hood, all right?
Yeah, nah, I like Checkers. I mess with Checkers fries. They got pretty good fries.
Banana milkshake.
But
My girl put me on to the triple thick banana
Yeah,
milkshake.
that
Banana
shit is
milkshake.
extra thick.
you know, my
Pause.
ish is the Five Guys, bro.
Five Guys is
Five Guys.
delicious.
Five
Five
Guys.
Over Shake Shack?
Panera, Five Guys. I'm like the bougie fast food
Nah,
restaurant.
Five Guys is bomb.
Five
What about,
Guys is
wait,
mad
what about
good.
Shake Shack?
I don't like the fact that
Shake
Five
Shack
Guys
is
does a double patty on a regular sandwich, though.
They make you feel like less of a man when you order one, right?
I'm like, dude, I don't need all that.
They're
bro.
like, oh, you want like the
You want the junior?
you want the baby
The
one?
junior.
Yeah, right?
You want the junior one? Is
Yeah.
that what you want? You with your girl? You want the junior? He
Tony,
wants
you
the
got a
junior.
guy with a small pecker out here.
I got you. One pecker coming up.
Yeah.
one centimeter Peter coming up.
Hey, go enjoy your peanuts.
Right.
I feel like what's a smash burger? No, you didn't say smash,
Smash burger, yes.
But I
Smash
was
burger
gonna say
looks
that
bomb.
I hold that one up with.
No, you
smash
said Shake
burgers.
Shack.
Shake Shack
Shake
and
Shack?
smash burgers. I feel like they're like neck and neck.
Really?
They are neck and neck.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. Smash Burger is
Smash burger is better, I think.
nah, trash.
Hold on, I want to ask
Ay,
you. I want to ask you
coño.
a question.
Basura.
You mentioned going to California recently.
Yes.
Did you have In-N-Out?
Yeah, I love In-N-Out. I'm a big fan of In-N-Out, animal style, all that.
Is it better than all of the hamburger places that we have?
I think it's like it's very similar like Shake Shack vibes. I feel like it's like the West Coast Shake Shack. I think I put Five Guys in like a league of its own. I really like
Okay.
Five Guys.
Really?
a lot.
It's funny you say that because I had In-N-Out burger myself and I was underwhelmed. I said, "Damn!" With all the hype and all this going on, I was
People
like,
say
Good.
it's delicious.
I like their
It was
fries,
good.
The animal style. It's like it's
Yeah.
cool. It's an experience. But I don't know. I mean, my go-to fast food, I like Boston Market and stuff too, low key. Like, I don't
Boston
even do
Market?
the burgers like crazy.
Bro, and the
I like
sweet
the Baconator.
potatoes.
I like it depends what vibes. I'm a
Wendy's is the best fast food place there is.
Negative.
Wendy's is
All
legit.
fresh, never frozen.
Bro, they fell off.
Who doesn't like that?
Nah, they
Wendy's is
fell off. Bro.
legit.
Nah, they fell off. bro.
Twiz has a strong like disagreement with your Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's is
Well,
great.
they have the best frozen drinks. Undisputed.
Yeah,
They're frosty.
Their lemonade, their lemonade slaps every time.
They're
That is
lemonade
not a
and-
drink.
That is not a trick.
The Frosty's
have the
not-
They
best-
give you a spoon with a frosty.
You're
They
right.
also give you a straw.
They give you a straw sometimes too. But
Nah,
I will
not,
say,
not
Interesting,
Berto's hood.
interesting point.
Touche.
And Berto's hood, you
Regardless-
gotta drink it.
hey, listen, I'm not here
Truce.
to be right about everything.
Listen,
I said they were all fresh,
on
never
a frosty.
frozen.
Truce on a frosty, all right?
Yeah,
Give
you're a
spoon
vanilla
and
frosty
straw.
guy. I can tell. I knew it. He loves that fucking
Oh my god.
vanilla frosty.
Nah, I'm a chocolate frosty.
Yeah, no, I do. I like the swirl. You know, the Mr. Frosty does the chocolate and the vanilla.
Oh shit.
I'm also
Oh.
a big froyo guy. I'm a big fan of like some good froyo.
Sweet frog and all
Nah,
that?
Froyo's
Yeah,
lit.
like all that kind of
like
TCBY.
12. What's that place in the city called 12?
Yeah, 12 handles.
Yeah, you see Danny Duncan bought that?
Oh
No.
man.
He
That's
bought
sick.
he bought 12 handles and now they're going he's going to like he's like they have like 32 restaurant they have 32 locations. He
You
says
heard
he's
his
gonna-
business mind clicking?
He's like,
he was like, I wonder what his interest
like-
rate was.
he's like,
Yeah,
we're gonna be
I
at-
remember when he purchased that.
he's like we're going to be at 100 before the end of the year.
wow.
Yeah, go crazy. I mean, that's a
Wow.
good like business model. Like Soul Bowl, Soul Bowl right now is killing it. in
I
Long
love Soul
Island.
Bowl.
They're
Facts,
going
yeah, Soul
nuts.
Bowl's
They
going-
love
Soul Bowl's
acai bowls.
Yeah.
Bomb.
Bro, their margins are crazy, and you could open one for like 60 grand and be chilling.
Oh, it's
What?
lit.
Trying
Yo,
to
let's
have-
do that. Yo, yo.
Yeah,
You trying to go
really
to-
Yo, let's talk about this off air.
Yeah, we wanna
Let's
talk
talk
about
about
this
this
off
off
air.
air.
You
Soul
can open
Bowl.
one for 60 grand?
Yeah, well, you could get the franchisee
franchise.
licensing. You have to have a building. Like, you have to have,
Yeah.
like, the setup. But, yeah, you could get the franchisee thing going.
That building like stipulation I always found crazy because when recreational cannabis came to New York, like one of the stipulations where you need to have like your storefront like ready, right? But they weren't giving out licenses, and I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
who can afford to have a storefront that's not making any money,
And that's not
for-
guaranteed to be approved for a
And
license.
you're not even guaranteed to be approved, and you're talking about what are we at like year 3 now?
Tell you who, guys that learned about interest rates in their private schools and not the people with tangents in their public schools. That's
That's
who
a
learns.
fact.
Telling you, that's who learns how to do all that
Facts.
ish. No
Facts.
problem. And they feel the confidence to do all of it.
In the schools where they weren't giving the babies, the fake babies
Yo,
that you
right.
had to put the key in when they start crying.
They tell these kids like, you're gonna do numbers today. They're like, you gotta watch this egg.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna pretend you're pregnant. We're gonna prepare you for teenage pregnancy.
It's
okay,
crazy,
that was
bro.
literally our high school. Remember that?
That's a fact.
Bro, there was so
You
many
remember that?
pregnant
You
girls in
remember
my
that,
high school.
Twiz?
Yeah, I
There
do.
was so many pregnant girls in my high school. They had their own class.
That's
Bro,
a fact.
I believe you.
They, when
that's
you
wild.
got pregnant, they would automatically move you over, and you'd be in the class, and everybody's pregnant in that.
Damn,
class.
it was like Dangerous Minds. You remember when
We
she
had
went
an
to
ES
Kelly the cashier?
Bro, we had like, you know that some schools have an ESL wing. We had the ESL and we had the pregnant wing.
Oh,
Damn, yo.
ESL.
I bet they
pregnant,
overlapped.
And then we had the tonto wing too.
it's just so much messed up, bro. When you think about it, it's like, you know, in one hand, you're giving these kids opportunity to learn stuff that's useful.
Yeah.
And these kids are gonna learn stuff that's useful and have the confidence to apply it. You got a bunch of pregnant girls in their teens in a one room trying to take care of eggs.
Yeah.
How good is that for their confidence? Like even
Yeah.
even if they stumble into a bag, they're not gonna know what to do with it.
Facts.
That's a fact, bro. That's like a lot of the people who go to like I did like trade school while I was in high school too.
Yeah.
I did like half a day BOCES and then half a day in high school. And we talk about this all the time, but some people leave there with like these licenses to do these jobs, and like if you just go out and do it, and you know you're disciplined, and you do it, you can be very successful, right?
Like the girls that
Yeah.
got the LPN in high school.
Yeah.
for
They got
real.
they were literally, they graduated high school and they were nurses, and then they went on to RN school, and then they're like, oh damn, you bought a house at like 19 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what
that's
the
a
fuck?
fact.
Yeah.
Like,
And
what
if
the
you-
hell? Meanwhile, half of them was doing cornrows on those mannequin heads. You know, trying to
Dude,
do
those
the
mannequin heads were
cosmetology shit.
everywhere.
For real, yeah.
Remember that?
Cosmetology was hitting when I was in high school.
Yo, OD.
Yeah, it was, man.
I went to cosmetology school.
Yeah?
I got a license, everything. Yeah, I used to do hair like for real.
Yeah, nah, I know you cut hair, right?
I got it on my
I did
list of things.
girls'
you did.
hair first, and then I got into doing guys' hair through getting the license.
Damn, that's mad smart.
You started with that's like the harder route, right?
That's my first job ever. When I was like 13, was working in a salon. My cousin owns a salon in Astoria. I was like sweeping the floor.
Yeah, how many cousins you got, bro?
I got a lot of cousins.
You
bro.
Italian?
Are you sure you ain't Puerto Rican?
Yeah, I might be. I got a lot of cousins,
hell?
a lot of homies, and it's crazy because I'm not like super close to my family, like my immediate family. But I think my immediate family was like so screwed up that my cousins was all like, "Yo, we'll mess with him. He's cool." But like they stay away from like my sister's not close with anybody in the family. But I had a cousin in Astoria. He has a hair salon. He was like, "Yo, come sweep the floors." He paid me like $20 a day, and I would go. I sweep the floors. I wash hair. I did like blowouts. I learned extensions. And
Hey.
that's what got me into music. Was up the block from the hair salon, there was like a bootleg CD spot, and I used to go there and spend that $20 and buy CDs, and like I just stumbled into that. But yeah, cosmetology school was like I was gonna go do hair for real. I went to cosmetology school, I got a license, and then I started cutting guys' hair like in the school. And I was like, you know, this is way easier than doing girls' hair. I just transitioned to that and focused on the music. And
Damn, this guy's done
yeah,
everything.
cosmetology school in
God
BOCES.
damn.
Shout out to BOCES for
Yeah,
real.
BOCES
shout out
is lit.
to I went to was it Eastern Suffolk BOCES?
Yeah, Eastern
Yeah,
Suffolk
yeah.
Bossies.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Yo, my man, Mike's new name is Mike the Plug, bro. You know, he
Bro.
got. I thought I had cousins.
Every publication that's
Everything,
online about you, when you read them, it just like spells out like hard worker. I'm like, yo, this guy's a hustler. Like me and Justin were like combing through the, you know.
Yeah,
the-
nah,
to-
for
I
real.
respect that y'all prep because I never prep for like anything. I'd be freestyling every piece of content I ever did.
You kind of have to.
I respect it.
Yeah, now
I
we
feel like
just
we
wanted
have
to make
to.
sure, you know, we just wanted to make sure that, you know, that we knew what was up. Because it's like, you know, we have our own perspective just from listening to the podcast, knowing you from the radio and stuff like that. But then, you know, we want to know what you're up to now.
Yeah, nah, I feel
know?
you.
And I need to know who you are besides, like, you know, the guy that Twiz kept telling us that he knows that we don't really believe he knows.
Yeah.
You know, you were like his girlfriend from Canada.
Oh,
you
man.
know, it was kind of like.
I was Alexa.
Yeah.
Got you. Nah, you know I like Twiz, like not just because of music, bro, but
Yeah.
he really grinds. He cares about his family. He worked like
100%.
in the hospitals, all that. Like my man's is a solid individual. Like
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
man.
you know,
110%.
he's been that
Twiz
way.
comes here and blesses us every single week. We've made it to the point that we can't do this show without him.
Yeah.
He's like
good
carved
at
out
that.
this place, this like spot within the podcast, and it's like he's a part of this podcast just as much as I'm a part of it. Justin's a
Yeah,
part of it.
facts.
Like he's a part of it.
I'm just a little
young
bit darker.
Jamie over there, man.
Yeah, facts.
You know, it's
Facts.
crushing, bro.
Nah, man, I appreciate y'all. The one thing I gotta say is about my man Mike. Super gen. I'm gonna tell you a story. Can I tell him this story? Remember the time you had me come up to Hot and we was chilling?
You go ahead. I was probably mad high, but go
All right,
ahead.
look, so
You had to tell Twins to
I
taking
re-
selfies.
I feel like he came to hot like every day. We would talk. I talk to him all the time, bro.
You at the radio station? I bet I'm outside.
And,
Nah.
come right in.
So
Say less.
look, this one particular time, I'm gonna switch it. This one particular time, right? I remember it because my little man Jeremiah, right? So he's like, "Yo, we gonna be at Hot on such and such day. Yo, pull up." So I'm like, "I bet." So I drive through, I pull up, right? And that matter of fact, that's the same day I met JD Youngin. That was the night JD Youngin was there with his girl.
Oh, man.
And the Backpack Kid pulled up.
Yeah, Backpack Kid. That's wild. I remember that.
Yeah,
night.
right. So look, so we're chilling. Like I'm just in the background. I'm just, like I'm vibing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm vibing. Talk to Mike.
Yeah,
talk
you was
to
in the lounge chilling.
Yeah, I'm just chilling, right? So Mike's doing this interview. I'm in the background just watching him do his thing. This my man's. Like I'm not. I don't get starstruck and stuff like that. But it was cool. Like the vibe. So I'm chilling with Backpack Kid. We're having a conversation about his music because at the time they had played some of his music and stuff like that. So they were asking me my opinion on it, and as somebody who does music, I'm like, yo, I think this is hot. Whatever my opinion was at the time. And so Mike comes over. He goes, yo, he's like, yo, my man Twiz is way too humble to ask you guys for a picture, but yo, take a picture with him. So that's how I got the picture. I put on my gram because he came over. I was like, yo, my guy Twiz is way too humble. He's not gonna ask you. So take a picture with him if you don't mind. And I took that picture and I showed it to my little man Jeremiah, bro. He went crazy. Yo, ask what he knows Backpack Kid. He knows Backpack. Yo, I got so much love off of that, and like those are the moments
That's
like
what's up.
that matter the most to me. And like for him to give me the opportunity to do shit like that, like it's just cool. Like
That's
genuine
super
love.
cool that he came over and was like, yo, like, because I'm the same way. Like, I don't want to, like, bother, be like, yo, can I go?
Yeah, nah.
it's a fact.
I don't mind.
I don't
bothering
even
somebody.
know how to do it.
a fact.
I sat behind, you watch Barstool?
Yeah, yeah.
You know Glenny Balls?
Yeah, yeah.
He was sitting behind me at a Theo Vaughn show the
At
other day.
the comedy show we
Yeah,
went to.
oh,
Yeah.
and I was
Theo
kinda-
Vaughn, I know, is sick.
He's fucking.
it was-
Dude was
the
at
show was
Westbury.
so good, dude.
It was at NYCB Theater. It was, and it's circular.
I wish
So,
I knew that. That's sick.
Dude, it was lit,
Such
bro.
a good show. But he was sitting behind me, and I'm like, damn, bro. This guy, I watch his podcast and stuff like that. I don't even want to take a picture. I just want to say what's up. But I felt fucking weird. I was kind of like, I don't want to fucking bother this guy.
Facts.
Yeah, it can get like that. I mean, I remember me and my girl were out, and I ran into China Mac at Wohop.
Okay, that's
He was
major.
at, he was at.
That's major. Of all the places,
Bro, he was at Wohop with a girl, and they were like chilling and shit. And I like said, "What's up?" And he was like, "Oh, what's up?" And I know he was receptive. Like I could have gone over and said, "What's up?" Because he gave me that energy. He's like, "Yo, what's cool, man?" Like no, but I didn't want to bother him. I'm like, damn, he's with this girl and shit. And he was like helping her order and shit. I think it was like her first time there, So I was like, let them do their thing. You've been to Wohop, I'm sure.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the best. The basement.
Fucking
I got a
bomb, bro.
dollar
Yeah.
bill stapled to the
Oh,
wall.
get
over
out of
there.
here,
Yeah.
bro. Yo, I'm not sure if I could stick one up there or not. So
Yeah,
that's why I
just
just
do
keep
it.
it to myself.
Just put our sticker on it before you put
Same
it
thing
on.
with
do.
talking to people, bro. Just do it. Like even the worst thing they could do is just look at you crazy, and then you look at them crazy. Like, bro, you know exactly who you are. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time though, I've only had like one or two experiences where I'm like, damn, I probably shouldn't have even said nothing to that person. And like in retrospect, like it wasn't even that bad. Like it feels like ish in the moment for like a second when somebody tried to play you, but then you like realize that they kind of ain't ish for like being like that. Like,
Yeah.
Facts.
You know,
Yeah.
and more times than not, everybody's gonna be like, "Yo, I appreciate that you appreciate like who they are." Like,
Yeah.
a lot of times they doing it because they want to be like well known and all that. So I don't know, especially in front of girls. You'll see.
Yeah, he was cool. Like he dapped me up and shit, but I just didn't want to interrupt.
I feel
He was with this shorty. Like I didn't know what their situation is and shit. And I didn't want to like come up, but he probably would have been like, "See, I told you and shit."
But
Like,
the girl would have been like,
she'd be like, "Damn, people like recognize
"Yeah."
She said, damn.
Yo, that's the new right
You
Yeah.
gotta read the energy. Like you never know. Like if that situation, if JD Youngin or Backpack Kid were like on some bullish, like I wouldn't have even asked to take a picture. I've been like, "Yo, thanks for coming through. Y'all drive safe."
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
That's a
Like,
fact.
yeah, you gotta feel the vibes, man. But that was a great time, and that's honestly like if there's anything I miss about Hot 97, it's like when I got there, the model was like not just anybody could come up here, and they really would only bring people that would fit their personal interests. If it's this person could come because we're doing a club run this week, or this person could come because I have this investment or this sponsor with them, I would bring so many people that really would like have no reason to be up there just to see it. Because I'm like, you listen to it as a kid. And like you hear it on the radio, but you can't put like you can't like visualize it.
That's a fact.
No, I have an idea of what I think it looks like.
I can tell you what it looks like.
I
Yeah,
haven't. I also believe, and you don't have to answer this question. I also believe that Flex be in his crib. That he ain't in.
nah, he's
the,
there.
I feel like he be in the crib because I don't know why I get this feeling, but I'm like, yo, this guy's definitely not in the studio.
I feel like it's pre-recorded.
Well, so a lot of what Flex does is pre-recorded. Like on the radio side, like he'll mix for an hour, like live, take that hour, play it again 2 hours from now. Like they move things around. My thing with Flex, just as far as the studio, is like he comes into work. Like he shows up in the studio and he sits next to the artist while they rap. But I would love to see him DJ like while they rap.
Facts.
Because he never touches the turntables and he's nice on the turntables.
Yeah.
So it's just like lazy to me. But
Yeah.
like he's there. Like he definitely is there. Like more hours than he can handle.
Yeah, I
You
saw
know?
him at Webster Hall one time, and he tore that place down.
He's a beast.
He did
bro.
like the main
Savage.
room, and he tore it
I remember
down.
being a kid, bro. A fucking no hair on my balls, young.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, and waiting for him to drop to get on the radio so I could record it on my fucking radio, so I could record the tape.
Yeah, bro.
Bro, like waiting for like I'm talking about like. I still remember listening to the Locks like freestyling on Hot 97.
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
could hear it in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell, nah, bro. I still the G Unit takeover,
All of
it, bro. The what really shut it down was the state property takeover. To me, the Rockefeller shit was the hardest shit ever. It was just one after the other. Everybody was bodying everything on there. I'm like, damn, that shit was a big part of like like growing up. Was seeing that shit. That shit was crazy.
I definitely want to put that out there. Like I feel like one of the more disappointing things between me and Flex is like people think that I don't like Flex. I love him so much. Like he's literally like, if anybody is like one of my favorite people to watch, to listen to, Flex is like up there, like competing for top 3, like with Rosenberg and Ebro. Like I love these guys so much. What drives me crazy and what I don't like is that with my family, like I feel like you could call me out on anything. If I'm drinking too much or if I'm hanging out with the wrong people, like I want somebody to be like, "Yo, that girl is not a good girl for you," or that like you getting crazy, you showing up late.
Facts.
Like and I don't like the fact that we can't have those conversations because the mentality is like, well, I have this and I'm gonna protect it. And I put it out there, like I don't hate Flex. I love Flex to death. I don't like that. Those 2 hours that are pre-recorded, Camilo could take those hours. Drewski, there's so many people that could put that energy across the same way. You're not the only one that could feed energy, you know?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you that when you mentioned that. I said there's so much material, there's so much content out there, so much music that what's the purpose of replaying a mix,
Keeping control.
Or
like
even-
keeping control, plain and simple. It's about keeping control. So the station can know that whatever's playing isn't going to have curses, so that it's predictable for like the labels to hit X amount of spins for the day. Like everything is just to keep control.
So it's safe for advertising, and
But it's got to
safe.
slow down growth, right? I think it's one of the things we see when it comes to radio and independent media nowadays. It's like, how much longer are we going to be listening to?
how much growth are you gonna get
the
with a radio
system's
station?
rigged to work with that. So it's like, all right, so now this is how the music is going to be played for a reason. There's a rating system, and it's like, how do we compete in this rating system? It's the same way you talk about, like, all right, well, how do we make this podcast go crazier? We have to cut it up into clips, and we'll put out the clips, and it'll get more traction. So let's do it at the expense of the content a lot of the time. But it gets the traction. With radio, the way it works is like, it's like a clock, right? So every 15 minutes is an opportunity to win that quarter hour, right? So it's easier with like a visual, but figure when you hear Flex playing the song back over and over and over again, it's because he's trying to get you to go from this 15-minute slot into this 15-minute slot so he could get both ratings for that quarter or half hour, right? So it's like, it's very like, there's a system, and you learn the system and you finesse it and you get #1 ratings. You know, the thing is
Dude,
that
that shit blew my mind.
the
Yeah,
thing
It
is,
blew my mind too, bro.
if I'm a DJ, I can't run a song back 50 times.
No.
So it's like, now how am I competing? And that's my thing. And I said this, I had a conversation with somebody because I'm going to see Flex very soon at like an event. We're supposed to be in the same room. And this person was like, yo, you should reach out to him. And I'm like, my whole problem is that we can't have these conversations. And, because I sincerely believe that I'm not the kind of guy that would bring the record back, because I'm not a DJ, but I'll get just as many views off the internet-ish because I'm on the internet.
Yeah.
You get these ratings because you're a DJ and you know that system. We could compete, you know,
Yeah.
and who's going to be better? And I'd argue that like there's instances where my passion outweighs your passion because you're older and you're more tired. And if you're built like that, by all means, I respect you all day. I know old men that could power lift better than me, a lot of stuff, but like make it a competition. Don't make it like I'm in a position to just do what I want. You're not, haha. Like that's not competitive. That's just like, that's not letting me grow. That's not letting you grow. And like, what are we doing here?
It's gatekeeping.
You
It's
know what I'm
gatekeeping.
saying?
Yeah,
That's
it is
gatekeeping.
But it's-
That's like somebody. That's like you coming over here and be like, "Oh, you use the Roadcaster. I use it too, but mine doesn't do this." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't know why."
But
yours is doing
the
that."
thing that disappoints me is like the intention isn't to stop me from winning. The intention is to continue to feed this ego that you've had forever.
Okay.
So it's not like you're doing it because you don't mess with me or you don't like me. I'm not competing with you because I don't like you. I want to be great in my own right, and you want to be great in your own right, and you're in a position to not work as hard but still look as good. I always compare it. I always say it's like if I'm with a girl, right, and I go to a family barbecue, and my uncle is up there, he's feeling himself, he's letting loose. He might say something outrageous to my girl and make her really uncomfortable because he think he still got it. It doesn't mean I don't love my uncle. I'm just like, bro, you got to chill a little bit. Like this is for me. This ain't for you.
Yeah. Is your uncle my dad?
His dad took my girl at the wedding for like
Everybody has
35
family
minutes.
members like this, and that's my thing with Flex is like he is that guy. He's the guy that's like, listen, I've had this on my back, and I'm gonna continue to have it on my back. And I'm like, yo, people think that your back's gonna break. Like, like you bringing the song back all the time. Like maybe you should just play the records. Like, but you don't know the records, and it's like it's a slippery slope when you're feeding ego and not passion. And like, and if you get in my problem with Hot 97, and I say it straight up to camera, my problem with Hot 97 is that when somebody feeds passion and starts to get close enough to where you see them catching up, you're just like, all right, see you. You know what I'm
Too
saying?
close. He's learning the recipe.
Yeah, and it's like, and at the end of the day, I played a different game. You know, like I didn't play the club game. Like I respect that. Like get your money in the clubs. Like I'm not here to take your bookings. I'm not here to play the artists you're passionate about. I'm doing something different. If it happens to work, don't just try and run with it because it's not meant for you. That's meant for you to work. Put more time into the things that's true to you.
Yeah, and they can't recreate something with the same amount of passion that you have for
They
it.
can't. And look, shout out to Gabe P. Gabe P got on the radar right now. Is literally what Gabe P is doing right now is what I did for Hot for 4 or 5 years, but no attention to it. Gabe is killing them. He's killing Hot. He's killing most people at Power. My man's is going viral with Ice Spice. He's got Drake playing him on the OVO, killing it. And it's because the company says, we love what you're doing. You're the guy for this. Do it. But Hot 97, not so much. And me personally, I couldn't be the dude that was like 35, 40 trying to play that game. I'd rather go to Station Head, get a bag, and interview who I want to interview. Do real estate, get a bag, interview who I want to interview. I feel like somewhere that has to pan out. It worked for Rogan. It worked for Flex up until a certain point where he started losing passion, and instead of evolving gracefully, say, you know what, I'm gonna stick to what's comfortable. Instead of lifting the weights, I'm gonna get the lipo.
And I'd rather fail at something that I love, trying to do what I love to do, than fail trying to do what you think is gonna pop or what you want me to do. Because then I spent this whole entire time chasing something that ain't even real. This is a plan that you made that I don't even want to do. I don't want to do this. I want to do my own shit.
That's
Yeah.
it. Like, what drives me is not answering to anybody, and can't nobody tell me shit because I stand for something. So it's like, whatever, do what you want to do with your legacy. But like, I personally think your legacy could be so much greater if you really address some of that uncomfortable ish. And I know you don't want to hear that, but that's where I'm at with it with him. But I love him, and I think a lot of people that go at him, they go at him because they hate the outcomes of like that energy. But it's like, you got to just appreciate, sometimes people, they have that piece missing, and that's their thing. There's so many things that I had to work on. When I was at Hot, I was not like in a happy place. I didn't see the positives. I was only looking at the negatives, and it put me in a bad place. And I'm leaving is such a blessing because it allowed me to see that. I wish everybody could see that.
Sometimes that's what you need, man.
I wish everyone could see that, man. I would love to see what Flex really could have did if he didn't just sit in that comfortable radio station.
Facts.
That's a good point, man. It shit got me curious.
Straight up. And rest in peace, K Slay, who is the realest.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace, K Slay,
in
for
peace, K.
real.
Slay,
I
yeah.
have homies that he would play on his show, and it would blow my mind.
K Slay is the realest.
It would blow my mind when he would drop their records, man.
I never understood that, and I mean, we talked about it. I think like 3 episodes ago when we were talking about like what gets played and how, like, you know, this when you go overseas, you go to Europe, like they're not playing the same songs over and over.
No.
They're playing different music all day.
And bro, and if you go to London, bro, Charlie Sloth, like he living that life. Like he's the biggest on their radio, but like he's outside living that. He's not outside hanging out in the cut, getting his bag with security, not talking to people. My man's just outside talking to everybody. That's the thing is like when you appreciate what the actual substance of something is and not just like the bottom dollar. It's like they say don't buy stocks that you're not fans of. Like don't just buy stocks because somebody says buy that, because you're not gonna be invested. Like, you know, like maybe your money's in there, but like you're not in there, and it's not, you're gonna lose it.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett says that. He says he doesn't invest in stocks. He doesn't invest in like chart predictions. He invests in businesses.
Yeah.
He's like, that's what I do. I buy stocks and businesses I believe in. I learn the business. I don't learn the stock.
That's why my portfolio isn't diversified, because I only know about technology, so I only buy tech stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes it works for you, sometimes it don't, man.
Yeah, most of the time it doesn't, but when it does,
But
It
that's
works.
the thing is, I look at a lot of these DJs as like, you guys were so invested in Cold Crush and it worked, and now you're invested in Lil Xan and it's just not working for you. Like, it just don't work. So why are you forcing it? Let somebody else invest in Lil Xan and let it work.
yeah,
It's
facts.
better for the whole squad. Like that's what I love about real estate is like we're all trying to get money as a team. I'm not trying to say like I made the most money this year instead of you made $500 less. Haha, we both chilling. Like, yeah, but I don't know, man. Whatever. I could go all day.
No,
Nah,
you're
but,
right.
I mean, you
There's
were
a-
like that when you came here. When you got here, you're like, yo, whatever you guys need, like whatever you like, the easy, like super easy with everything, just like whatever you need.
Yeah,
I
I'm
feel
an
like
open
you
book.
just wanted, I feel like, to just help us as much as we wanted to have
Nah,
you
it's
on. You
love,
know,
bro. I'd
That's
be
cool,
so
man.
honest. Somebody's like, you got paid for podcasts. I'm like, nah, I'm going to chop it up with people. Like, I never asked for money for a record, for a podcast, for nothing. Because, again, it's like I really pride myself on trying to be as much of the real deal as possible. And, like, whether it's a real deal barber or a pizza man or whatever, like, I'm not answering to anybody. Like, I'm not compromising shit. I'll take 100 L's to not say that, like, that I was wrong type shit.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
that's a
saying?
fact.
Like, I'll take 100 out. I don't care how bad. If I mess up, I'll take ownership of it just so you can't say that I'm that guy. Like,
Facts.
I'd rather be the biggest loser in the world than be somebody that's just fake as hell and like you can't respect.
Yeah, and you're learning from every single one of those mistakes, and they're mistakes that you're making for yourself, like within your own thing. If I fuck up with the title on one of these videos that I do very often, I make the fucking numbers wrong.
I say it wrong. Even if you get it right, I say it wrong on the intro.
Yeah,
So
it's like, oh, but it's between us.
Well, then you learn from it. You know, it's like you learn to respect yourself through doing things wrong and correcting it. Like you build a lot of confidence through that. You know.
Oh, that's how we've done everything. When you were talking earlier, like, you know, you find what you guys are good at, and in my head I thought, damn, me and Justin are really good at being full of shit, right? And I feel like you need like a certain level of that to do something in
It's
entertainment,
everything.
right? You kind of have to be a little full of shit. And if we had a specialty, I think it would be in arrogance, right? Like a specialty and just like the level of confidence you need to just spew something out that you don't even know if it's 100% true, but that you say.
Nah, but
It's
do
like
your
there's
best to be as accurate as you can.
Yeah.
The thing is like that's how shit comes together. Is like it doesn't make you full of shit for saying something that maybe is just off the top. Like you're being an open book, and like you have somebody who'll check you, and vice versa. And like eventually you're not full of shit because it's like you figure out, like you say, you make the reasonable decisions. It's like you can sit there and be like, I know it's worth 10,000. Like the guy that's telling you like, nah, I'll give you this, he's full of shit. Like you're like, I don't want to give a number. And then it's like, you know what I'm saying? You figure it out through going back and forth where you're going to end up. And at the end of the day, he was the one that was full of shit. Even though you might have thrown out a full of shit number.
Yeah, that's just to scare him off. Yeah, that guy was fucking.
But you'll get to the
Crazy.
bottom of it. Like, I feel like I'll talk about things and I'll try to only talk about things that I know. But if I don't know something, I'll say like, what do you think about this? and I'll figure it out. And maybe I don't agree or whatever, but like I try not to just say shit that's like sounds cool, you know?
Yeah. And we're also accountable. If I say something that's completely inaccurate, next episode I'll be like, yo, I said some wild shit last time. This is not
There you go. Nah,
this
it's
is
important.
100% not true. And to me, that's real life. You know, people want to just insulate themselves and they want to censor themselves. They don't want to say the wrong thing. Sometimes I'll say the wrong shit, and then I'll just come back and be like, yo, I said the wrong shit.
Nah, but we save it though.
On the podcast.
Yeah, facts.
You
Allegedly.
see how many times Rogan put out videos like, I said this on the last thing and I was so wrong and
Yeah.
this and Dr. So-and-so
Yeah.
correct. Like, it's important because people, they might see that episode too and be like, I was agreeing with him and now he's like, fuck, I was wrong too. Like,
So
it's very humbling.
It's not horse tranquilizer. They were wrong.
It builds credibility, honestly.
Yes,
You
yeah.
know? When you're okay with going
You're
back.
a real person. You're
we
a real,
we all do that.
yeah.
110%.
Oh, you guys don't want to do radio and be like, welcome to the show. Today we're gonna be talking to Corporate Mike.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck wants to
Yeah,
listen to that?
I definitely don't want to do that. In my mind, I feel like that's the easiest path to success, and I don't know why I feel that way. Or maybe I feel that
Because
way
it's the
because
most
is.
controlled,
see
full of
it.
shit.
Yeah,
But it's
but
it's
can
like
also-
college. You go to college, you come out, you make X amount of money. But the people that make this much money didn't do that.
Didn't
Yeah,
go to
didn't do it
college,
at
yeah.
all. Yeah, they're like, fuck
Yeah.
that.
Took you longer to get to where they ended at, but you're gonna blow past that.
How did the
eventually.
person who invented college go to college?
Oh,
You know,
touche.
the person who invented college didn't go to college, and they did really well for themselves.
That's a
and shit.
fact. Justin talks about this all the time. The people who are teaching business don't own businesses.
Yeah, it's
Facts.
true.
Because if they did,
They
they
wouldn't be teaching.
That's a
Facts.
fact.
right?
It's facts. Be honest, it's real talk.
You know,
Yeah,
there's
man.
not many curriculums where like the people who are teaching it actually do it. In medicine, I think it's a lot more popular. But when you look at other majors, it's like, yo, if you were like the man, if you're working in a culinary institute, like if you're this other guy, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
You
straight
know,
up.
you're here unfortunately for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm sure it's teachers. You guys do good, so I ain't got nothing against you guys. We went over the hour, which is perfectly fine. We kind of intended on that, but before we go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm waiting for you.
What I was gonna say is before we wrap it up, I wanted to ask you what the direction going forward is gonna be.
Oh man, I have no idea.
All right, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out right now. I mean, I came out of a relationship like a month ago. I've been wilding. Honestly, I've been out here just
Nice.
like going out like crazy, like hanging out with Jo, getting turned every weekend. Like,
Hey.
Magic Mike.
yeah, I've
That's
been
it.
wilding. I've been really wilding. Like, I've been just like, this girl really like put me in a frame of mind where I was very upset about it, and I was just like, you know what? Everything you said I was, I'm about to be on that time, but it's not healthy, and I've realized that. And like this week, I've kind of been like easing into just falling back, hit the gym, like, you know, go to work, focus on like positive things, seeing friends. Like, that's where I'm at right now. And I'm really trying to work at like the girl I was seeing was very good at manifesting. And I don't know anything about that world, but apparently there's a science to it. So I'm like going through YouTube, like black holes of just like how to manifest, how to like, you know, all that stuff.
That's
Facts.
what's
So
up.
we'll see it. We'll see how it goes. But
I got a
don't
plug
know.
for you. I got a plug for you.
What you got?
No, I'm saying I got a plug for Mike. I know somebody that's real big on manifestation, things like that.
You know what it is? It's like I'm learning. It's not like people look at it like it's magic. Like it's not.
Immediately, I'm like crystals came into my
Yeah,
head.
you're like crystals magic. I mean, I the crystals. Don't get me wrong, but it's like it's how it kind of makes you. It's like self talk, right?
Yeah.
If you're like, I'm gonna do this, like there's more likelihood. Like I watched a video. They're like, put a book on your table, and like after so many times to see in the book, eventually you're gonna pick it up and read it.
That's a fact.
It's the manifesting thing is like more so thinking like, damn, this bill comes, I'm gonna be in trouble. Like, and now you're moving in a way where you're like not focused. Where it's like, if I'm like, I'll figure out, I'm gonna have the money for the bill. You like leave space in your mind to focus on the things that are gonna get you the bread. So it's like, it's not like, I think they say you attract it. But I think it's like if your energy is really pure and if you're working in a way where you're embodying that swag, is like it's like going to talk to a girl and you have that confidence or you don't. You know,
Yeah, that's a fact.
You're the same guy, but one guy is like telling himself over and over again, be confident, be secure. The other guy's like, man, I think she's gonna dub me.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get the result.
It's the mindset
The mind is a
more
powerful
so
thing,
than
yeah.
the attraction portion of the manifesting.
It's
you're
not
talking
about just like think about it and get it. It's more so like really have confidence you can do it, because I think being in the music industry, I've always let my confidence get so shit on that I don't believe certain things are possible. I'm like, Russia's sending a nuke here any day. You know? But like, you can't live like that.
No,
you know?
can't. And the mind's super powerful, man. I have this like thing that I seen. I don't remember where I seen it. I seen it somewhere online about. It was like tips for interviewing, and it was like, you know, before you do your interview, like stand up straight, like the Superman pose and all this shit. But anytime I'm about to host a meeting and I'm about to speak to a bunch of people at work, like even and I work from home. But I'm still from here. I'm like standing up. I'm like, all right, let's get ready to fuck. You ready? You ready? And I'm going in there, and I'm like, because you know, I know there's gonna be a bunch of people listening to me. I gotta be, you know, I gotta be clear, concise. I gotta, you know, put across the right message, so on and so forth. But what gives me that state of mind is, you know, all of the poses that I'm doing that just make me feel more confident.
There you go. And you set yourself up to be in a position to like not necessarily attract what you want, but like attract what you want. You know?
Yeah. Oh, if you could, I'm really good at spewing bullshit and making it seem like I'm very confident in my words. When in reality, in my head, I'm like, maybe, maybe not. Go ahead, Jay. What do you got?
I don't got nothing, man. I just
bet that's why they love you. Honestly, I bet that's why people watch, because they love that energy.
yeah, he's
Facts.
solid, bro.
Well, they're very aware.
It's
I
the
don't know what I'm
tattoos.
talking about it,
It's the
but
tattoos.
I will say it. You know, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say the first thing that comes to my mind. It's so stupid. I just can't help myself sometimes.
I love it, bro. I love it, man. It's the transparency, man. That's what
Yeah,
makes it
sometimes some things are just so funny you can't hold them in. Like anytime I call my girl at her job, I'll be like, "Dead hooker in the trunk," because I'm like, maybe I'm on speaker, and like somebody else will hear that, and then she'll have to explain it. And in my mind, that's a funny that's a funny thing. She'll be home and say, "What the fuck did you say that for?"
And
My
you're like,
fucking boss wants to know about the hookers, and I'm like, I just thought I don't know why. I heard it somewhere, and I thought it'd be funny if I repeated it to you on speakerphone at your job.
That's great. I love that.
man. I mean, that's all I got, man. I just wanted to shout out Corporate Mike for coming through. Shout out Twiz
Thank you so
for being the
Yeah,
plug,
nah,
because
thank you
Twiz the
guys.
realest.
This has been hella fun, man.
Yeah, we
I really
appreciate you,
enjoyed
man,
this
for sure.
conversation for real.
For sure, man. We appreciate you. So, you know, guys, the typical drill. Master None Podcast. Make sure you hit the thumbs up because it helps the algorithm, gets us in front of more people. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. You know, hit that notification bell because we do go live. And as you can see today, we went live a little bit earlier than we typically do. And if you have the notifications on, you wouldn't have missed the episode. So, you know, do your homework on any previous episodes that are in the archive. And also, if you want to listen to the audio versions, you already know Spotify, Google Play Store, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff, Stitcher, the whole thing. And make sure that you check out the description down below so you can check out Corporate Mike. You can check out his Instagram. You can check out all his social media and his YouTube channel. You can subscribe over there to go and check out those podcasts. And because it is interesting and it's funny as hell. And you can get a little more background on where this man has been.
Facts.
Oh man, I hope to get
know?
as good at outros as you one day, bro. That was incredible.
This guy's a savage, right?
That was amazing.
This guy's a savage.
That was amazing.
Today when he walked in, I said, "You got the intro written down?" He's like, "I think I'm just gonna freestyle it." I
Let's
was
go.
like, I could never. I could
man,
never.
come
So funny.
No, definitely check out Corporate Mike stuff.
Twiz, what you got for the people, man?
I don't know.
Go ahead. I know you got something.
Yo, this is Masters of None Podcast, episode 155, featuring Corporate Mike. Man, we want to thank everybody for tuning in and rocking with us. Please remember to thumbs up, like, subscribe, follow, and share with your friends, because sharing is caring, and we out like that.
Like that.
Shout out Alexa.